Hello everyone and welcome to the sportiest stream here tonight where you got some great sets of matches for you, four of them in fact. It's one of those long nights. You haven't had a night like this in a bit of a while here on the stream where you have four separate matches brought to you here, but here we are, we've got four matches and I've also got one friend here, at least for now. We'll have two others coming in later tonight, but my friend here for this first match is Panda. Welcome in again, Panda. It's been hasn't been that long since you've last been here, but it's always nice to have you around.
Yeah, thank you. It's always nice being here. Sadly, tonight I'm not going to have a webcam just for personal reasons, but we do have a pretty good matchup coming up tonight. New Age Dragons versus Lindenwood White. This should be a pretty dominant match coming out from New Age Dragons. They are on +6 game differential and a 3-week winning hot streak right now. So they lost weeks 1 through 3 and then won weeks 3 through 6 or 4 through 6. So they're on a 3-game hot streak right now. Lindenwood is not on a hot streak. They have a -15 game differential, and they've won 0 series.
Yeah, as you said again, for Lindenwood University White, there's no chance for them in the playoffs here, but New Age Dragons, it's the exact opposite. They can qualify for the playoffs. All they have to do is win here tonight. That's how scary things are. So for them, there's a good amount of pressure. This is the final week of the regular season for this Black Lion Academy series, and also means that this is their last chance to get to the playoffs. Must win, or else their season is over. But while we talk about that, we have a couple other matches to talk about. Again, 3 more matches later tonight. We'll go to the Evolution Champ Series for the next one with Cronos versus Underworld Wolves Black. And we'll move on to Dino Electronic Athletic Organization of Team Ignition. That's a big match that I'm sure a lot of people like to see. And then we'll end off with AGO. Their last week of the regular season is also upon us. Team Jumba taking on the Midnite Vipers. And again, along the way, we'll have other people join us, but again, for now, Panda, it's you and me, and as you said, Lindenwood University White, New Age Dragons. Dragons should win this, but should, I think, is a very statement, especially with the amount of pressure that they're under, whereas for Lindenwood, there's no pressure at all. Their season's already over.
Yeah, Lindenwood is basically just playing Disruptor. So, I mean, New Age Dragons, if they win this, they secure their spot in the playoffs based off of game differential. While Skylight has a lower game differential, they can't come back from that. 7 game difference, best of fives. So that's out of the question. If New Age Dragons win this, even if Evolve wins their matchup, then New Age Dragon moves on. But if New Age Dragons lose, then they have to bet on Evolve Skylight losing their matchup, which Evolve Skylight is a very strong and powerful team as they are ATS Season 0 champions. So New Age Dragons would have to bet on an upset against Evolve Skylight for them to make playoffs based off of game differential there, which is not a spot you want to.
And actually, you know what? I could probably show you guys the bracket as it is right now. Here we go. Let's show you the Academy Series bracket. So again, this guy's in that final group there on the right, and as you said, again, they're not just fighting Evolve Skylight, they're also fighting FF Explode. If Explode were to win, and they were to lose, there's a chance Explode would make it to the playoffs. Again, it's a very big match for these guys because if they lose, they're not making the playoffs. They're almost certainly not going to be making the playoffs because it would be very tough for Skylight and Explode to also both lose this week. Although it is possible if you see this final week of the regular season, you play different opponents. And for Explode, they also have a tough matchup against the #1 overall team in Midwest Mafia Soul. But again, for Dragons, if they were to lose here, there'd be a lot more embarrassment as well attached to it because again, Lindenwood are already out. They have not won yet, as you said, only one game taken off of any team and not even a single series. So for these guys, definitely a lot that they are looking to see here, and I definitely can see where the pressure comes to now for these teams. But still, if you're New Age Dragons, this is, you have to perform when the match is put in front of you, and this is a match that they really should perform well on.
Yeah, when it's the easiest matches that teams seem to struggle on, whether it's due to pressure or even from personal experience when it comes down to cockiness. I mean, you go against a team where you're like, we're beating this team, we don't need to fear this team, and you don't really take the match as seriously, and then the team that's supposed to be worse than you is actually beating you, getting goals that they're scoring on you. Again, this is Champ 1 to Champ 3, so they're unless Lindenwood White is all lower Champ 1s and New Age Dragons is all higher Champ 3s, then I mean there's not gonna be such a huge gap where Lindenwood White, has no chance of upsetting New Age Dragons if they get too cocky and they start, messing around on the field. Now, if you go up 6 or 7 goals, then, you might, then you might see a little bit of, freestyling going on from New Age Dragons, but that's just expected from any teams. But you can't continue that throughout an entire game, much less an entire series, unless you want to get upset.
Yeah, and right now we'll see how they do it here. As again, right now I see Lindenwood White bringing in MK, Drufus, Nirikin, and for the side of Dragons, it's Christian, Matt CZN, and Reaper, who I believe that is Gabe. Would have to check, but I believe Reaper is Gabe. Let me quickly check on that for you guys before we go, because I want to make sure we get the right name here. It is... let me find it. That is Gabe, yeah, that's Gabe. So, we'll be calling him, I think, Gabe for this series. Sorry, I know players at this level don't always keep the same names that they are showing up as, but again, these teams are both in. And yeah, for New Age, again, 3-3, a positive record will get them to the playoffs. So, them, the last chance for them, and a big opportunity for them as well here to, to prove that they deserve to be there. Again, they've got a relatively simple match ahead of them here, Panda, but as we said again, the pressure's on this team. And for them, they're going to need to perform. This is the final week of the Blackline Academy series. And this is their final chance to make the playoffs. It is Lindenwood University White on the blue, New Age Dragons on the orange. A best of 5 to send them to the playoffs, or to potentially send them home. Lindenwood University White stand in the way of Dragons and their chance of the playoffs.
Yeah, New Age Dragons trying to clear the ball out already. Lindenwood already starting out on the offense. Drufus with an aerial play, and Drufus with the goal. Lindenwood start out on the offensive foot.
Are we sure this team is 0-6? That's a pretty good start for them. Drufus right up in the air. He gets past Matt and Gabe there with a beautiful second touch. And already Lindenwood bringing some stylish plays to the field. And that is not something you expect for a team that has not won yet this season.
Absolutely not, and they're already trying to pick up where they left off that last goal. Now clear coming out from Reaper. Drufus there to try and meet it, going to try and put that ball middle. Nikrin there, but the ball gets cleared down and away, and that offensive pressure shut down for now. Reaper with an aerial shot attempt, but no dice on that one. Drufus with the ball going downfield, gets a bump on one, but no one there to follow it up, and a little bit of a Team 50, accidental Team 50 coming out. Matt with the air dribble, and it gets sent away. And this seems to be between these two teams trying to trade blows, trade offense, although that's a little bit of an iffy defensive play coming out from Gabe and Christian as they almost bumped the other off of the back wall.
Yeah, they don't look very comfortable right now, and I think a lot of it is due to the fact that Lindenwood coming out hot at this first game, really not taking things slow, taking the time. No, they are making sure that if they want an upset here against the Dragons, that they are going to do it early and they're going to set the tone quickly. And so far, they've found success doing that here as the Dragons can't seem to find a foothold on offense. Missed by Christian. Here comes MK, but it's Matt to clearly get back the other way. New Age Dragons pushing, but Lindenwood will not give them the opportunity for free. And as you said, back and forth, but it is Lindenwood right now who are really setting this tone quickly and setting it in the face of New Age Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, they're just starting out as strong as possible on offense. And Drufus, I can already tell, is going to be that difference maker, going to be that playmaker for Lindenwood. He already seems like he's the one with the mechanics, the shots, the power. But, how do you pronounce his name? Nirikin?
Nirikin, yep.
Yeah, Nirikin put on a deadly shot. MK trying to continue offensive pressure. That ball is a slow lobber all the way to the back wall. And here's Drufus trying to put on a shot. What an air roll shot there. But Nirikin not able to get the touch, and that's a follow-up shot that goes off the post. And that was almost a second goal for Lindenwood. But yet, New Age, Matt got a threatening shot on there. I was about to say, they have no threatening shots on so far, but that was a somewhat threatening shot, but again, sadly just sent away.
Yeah, the fighting shots are not going to come from flip resets from Matt, that's for sure. For New Age Dragons, the fighting shots are going to be from them getting up yield, getting offense, and this might be their chance. Christian off the back wall. Where is he? Nobody's there. Matt left, but his follow-up shot. Gabe saved away. Here comes Matt, and that will be put in. New Age Dragons tied the game at 1. Offensive pressure over and over. They felt a bit panicked, felt a bit resistant to pushing up, but finally Matt put it in for Dragons, and well, maybe that's like a confidence booster for them, because right now, they just seem hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, you see the team that you're supposed to be beating score on you first, especially with how quick it was and how cool and fancy of a play that it was coming out from Drufus. It almost gives the dominant team shock of like, wait, they weren't supposed to be doing that, so why are they doing that? And then they seem hesitant to push up, gives them second thoughts on how they're going to approach this game and series. So now that New Age Dragons have gotten a goal, gotten some footing on offense, maybe their confidence will be re-sparked. But Drufus trying to end that, as that's a little bit of a pancake, forcing the own goal from Christian. Drufus is going to force a second goal off of an own goal from New Age Dragons.
And it feels like Drufus is inevitable at this point in the game. This guy will not quit, leaving the New Age Dragons backline alone. And in so many places when you're up like that, there's not much you can really do, but Drufus finds a way to make things tougher for the Dragons, and so far, he has definitely just gotten in the way of them. He's sat in front of that back line, and he's caused havoc for the Dragons. Again, as you said, Shock, they aren't really used to this kind of pressure for a team like Lindenwood, and Lindenwood is making things up, but Christian, back the other way. MK won't get it! Christian will follow it up, and the European player, a second goal for the Dragons, and well, that is a great time for it and a great way to get it.
Yeah, wait, is Christian really a European
He's
player?
English. Yeah, he has a 6-hour time difference.
Cool. That is amazing. But even more amazing is that equalizer coming up from New Age Dragons. Lindenwood, they're strong on offense, but Matt is going to be stronger in the end, as he's going to put New Age Dragons up by 1 with 1:13 left.
And so far, it's been a battle of shooting between Drufus and Matt, and well, right now, Matt might be winning that race, but there's still 73 seconds to go, and if we know anything about Drufus, as I said, inevitability, he's going to find opportunities. Can he slot them where they need to go? As right now, here's a chance in front, cleared by Gabe, but here comes Nirkin the other way. Off the corner, Matt flicks it long, MK going for it, but he's missed! Matt missed as well, and New Age Dragons will wait on this, but not for long. That one's saved by Drufus. Here comes Christian. Drufus gets rid of that pressure as well, and Lindenwood University are still playing. I love this aggression. I love this willingness to continue to get up field and to not be afraid to send numbers as they do right here, because they're getting New Age Dragons caught in a couple plays, and once one of them can connect with a shot, it might be all over.
Yeah, but Christian trying to put up a team play with Matt. Matt over the cross in the middle of the net, but Drufus is able to get the clear out. And it seems like Lindenwood, maybe if they had a little bit more consensus as a team, it'd be so much more threatening on offense and maybe even on defense. But it seems like they have maybe two lower skilled players in MK and Nirkin. And then they're just letting Drufus do everything. They're letting Drufus get the saves. They're letting Drufus get the clears. They're letting Drufus get the shots. And that's just not going to work, as New Age is going to take game number 1.
Yeah, so many times you see a team at this level where they rely on one player to lead the charge. And this game was Drufus, and well, he was not able to do enough. On the other side for Dragons, it was Matt who led, but Christian had a goal as well, and that felt like the goal that was the difference maker. That felt like the goal that changed everything up. And well, for New Age Dragons, it was a bit of a hiccup here in Game 1. They did not look as comfortable as maybe you think they should have been, and, well, this is, I think, a bit of a test for them here against Lindenwood, because Lindenwood is going to make them fight for that playoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see that coming out of Lindenwood. Yeah. Lindenwood should put on that pressure. They should play and fight on offense like they have nothing left to lose, because they really don't. So forcing that offense, forcing that pressure on New Age Dragons, that's a good thing. It forces them to rethink how they're going to maybe play this game And for Lindenwood, if they keep up this pressure and maybe find a little bit more of those innovative plays that we saw Drufus peak at, then I think we may have a closer series on our hands.
Yeah, but that's a lot of hoping. And right now for Lindenwood, they're doing a lot of hoping here on this back line. It's ball just kind of going across that net, scary as can be. And the New Age side not giving up, definitely not letting go here is Christian. MK, but he's not got the boost. It's Christian again, looking in the midfield for Gabe, but Drufus will clear it out. And now he'll look for some offense, but a misplay there, or maybe not so much, because MK had a chance. I thought Drufus just missed that, but Lindenwood had a little bit of extra creativity behind that play. And New Age Dragons, again, it still feels like they're getting outplayed at points, but I mean, look at this kind of pressure from New Age. It's a much more standard type of offense. It's not one that's as sneaky. No, they're a lot more forward coming with what they want to do, and it doesn't matter what Lindenwood's doing about it. The Dragons still find a way to succeed.
Yeah, but so far within the first minute, New Age hasn't put a goal on yet. Both teams trading shots, trading blows with each other, really testing the defense, but that's a big miss from NK and Nirkin, as now Drufus last back, and now temp from Gabe gets saved away from MK. Drufus not able to get a full body clear. Matt with the flick. Matt saves his own shot and prevents Gabe from slotting that one in.
Yeah, but this New Age side still attacking Christian. A demo in the backfield. Dragons have gotten a little more aggressive with those demos, as we saw at the end of last game, to really remove this Lindenwood defense that has been making things so tough. Here comes MK. Christian won't get there. Matt's almost stopped by Drufus, but he's still going to his net. Matt on no boost. Here comes Nirkin, finding Drufus for the clear, and Lindenwood White now on offense once again. Nirkin towards the net, saved by Gabe. Matt stops MK. And Lindenwood back on defense. It's still back and forth that midfield. Not really helping the team. Is that one off the post, off the other post, still in front. And Nirkin will clear. Another chance just goes wide. When will this ball go in that net?
I don't know if it will. The way that this game has gone, I can see this going a 1-goal game between either of these teams. I mean, it can come down to the final 30 seconds, and we'll see either Lindenwood or New Age score. But I don't see it coming anytime soon, as Christian trying to prove me wrong with the big booming clear off the backboard, but Drufus there and waiting, able to save it away. And now he's going to maybe take for a little bit of a slower play, but Matt there to cut it out. And now Nirkin having to face off against Matt, cuts out that flick, now going to push that over into the corner, misses the bounce. And now Gabe with Drufus. Drufus going to try and get that ball middle, but Matt is able to clear that ball way downfield. Drufus, a little bit of physical play against Christian. Nirkin not able to get control of that ball. Drufus gets cut out by Gabe. Now Drufus having to make another save again. This Lindenwood team is relying heavily on Drufus, but Nirkin has made crucial saves and plays when he has needed to.
Yeah, and as you said, I think your prediction coming true pretty well here. It is. These teams have gotten chances, but they haven't been able to score. This is a good chance here. That's a miss. Drufus. Oh, he's missed it as well. New Age Dragons. A miss from Gabe, and that almost cost them. Now he'll get a chance, but MK clears. Here comes Matt, and it does feel like it's either him or it's going to be Drufus who get that goal that matters so much. Drufus now trying to make it true, but he's bumped off the ball. And the New Age Dragons will clear it wide, as again, so much reliance on these leading strikers, these leading scorers, but none of them have been able to find the nets. And another close matchup, but this time less goals, much more on the defense, as Matt high flick. Drufus won't have to save it as Nirkin is there. And with ourselves heading to those final 60 seconds, it's still 0-0. It's still anybody's game, but these chances and these teams starting to get a little bit more desperate, trying to find any way to break out. Nothing has worked, but Matt might have it. He does. Matt through the entirety of the Lindenwood White defense, and it's one for New Age Dragons with minimal time remaining.
Yeah, I mean, for Matt, that was a really good play, but on the side of Lindenwood, how do you let that go in? I mean, Matt only had about 30 to 20 boost in the tank. Gets it past 1 through a 50. The other one kind of gets a little bit outplayed on the touch. Okay, that's a little bit respectable. You know, not expecting the immediate cut. But that last player, he had no boost and he saw it. But Drufus is going to answer right back. He's going to shut me up. And he's saying my team is still in this. Off the demo. Gets it past Christian. Or has to 50 Christian. And he will 50 that into the net. 37 seconds remaining, and we have an equalized game.
Lindenwood White and New Age. You knew it was going to come at some point. At least one of these teams would score, but both found a way. As now Matt, already at 1 goal, has a flip reset. Oh, he was looking for a second one as well. Again, I don't think the goals are going to come from those plays. It's going to come from good shots, good opportunities here as Lindenwood trying to tie things up. It's a bounce off the sidewall. Now a miss from Nirikin. Matt, the 50, infield. Christian will be there. Drewfish challenges. Now a clear from Gabe. And with 10 seconds to go, maybe the last chance will go to New Age. As Matt has done it before, he's got it for the dribbles, he's got a flick, but this one goes wide. Christian trying to keep it alive. Gabe, maybe the last chance of regulation. Oh, on the back wall, Christian missed, Matt has missed, MK wants it down, and we go to overtime here in Game 2. If New Age scores next, they take match point. If Lindenwood score next, we've got a tied series.
Yes, and I would absolutely love to see a tied series coming out from these two teams. I want to see Lindenwood push. I want to see Lindenwood score. And it looks like Drewfus might score near Kim with the shot. MK with the follow-up, and we got a tied series.
New Age Dragons. Maybe got a little overconfident after that kickoff, but that confidence was waning quickly. Lindenwood White, their second ever game winner of the season, and it comes in the final week for New Age Dragons. Their hopes of the playoffs now tainted a little bit. It's not going to be that easy anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you see, Matt, he's such a good scorer and a good playmaker for his team. Also, the only one not always on 100 being on New Age Dragons, but I think if you're saying that he can't score off those flip reset opportunities, but I think he can if he actually turns them into shots. You can, do a pop off the wall, slight air dribble, like maybe 1 or 2 touches, and then get the flip reset and then flip it around the last defender. But just doing it like tiny touch off the wall or trying to do it off the corner against the back wall, that's not going to work unless you somehow make it into a pass. So maybe we can see a little bit more creativity from Matt. And if we do, I think those will definitely be the most threatening shots that Lindenwood will have to try and save.
I'm actually more concerned about Christian and Gabe. Gabe specifically, I know he can be an offensive powerhouse. Christian generally is much more defensive. He's generally the most defensive player on his team. I have not been impressed with how Gabe has been playing, though, because he can score. I've seen him take control of series. He just hasn't here against Lindenwood, and that's going to be an issue, because that limits one of their striking options here, and if you only have one person who is going to strike well, that could be an issue for you. For the side of Lindenwood, they're showing you that it could be an issue. It really did stun the New Age Dragons offense, the fact that it was Matt who felt like the only player who could score.
Yeah, we really haven't seen much offense coming out from either of the 2 other players on New Age, except for maybe I think 1 goal coming out from Christian in game number 1. But ever since, it's just been the Matt show. And you really can't do that. I mean, when I was looking for a team, I had to find a team where I wasn't the only scorer or someone else wasn't the only scorer. And now, it comes in that teamwork. And because I have that teamwork to my team and there's multiple scorers, it's not one person being shut down. So Matt can get shut down, and then there's just no more scorers on New Age, or someone else has to be elected a new scorer right then and there, as Christian's going to try and be the new scorer, but no goal will come from it, or no really threatening shot will come from it.
Yeah, New Age Dragons, it feels like they're scuttering around that question. They're not really attacking the question. That question is, who's going to step up if Matt can't step up all the time? Because for New Age right now, they've got to find an answer, because Matt, he will do his thing. He's going to find ways to get the ball in the back of the net. But we need to see someone else do it too. Will it be Christian? We've already seen him score. Will it be Gabe, who I know has that ability? So far, Lindenwood, they don't care about the answer, because Drewfus will throw it at the nets, and everybody of the Dragons overcommitted. A low boost on the back line meant that shot had no other place to go but the nets.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't really necessarily the bad or worst play coming out from Christian, but I mean, if you take that mid boost, you gotta maybe challenge a little bit quicker. You gotta be a little bit more fast and a little bit more high challenging on those challenges, or else, Drewfus just gonna score on you. And Gabe almost scored there, but MK is gonna be able to save it away and bang that ball all the way down to the New Age Dragons corner. So not the most threatening position, but still, it stalls time off the clock nonetheless.
And for the Dragons, they might want some time as Matt wants that shot. That's off the post, and Gabe will not be able to follow up anywhere near that net. Lindenwood White, at this point now, they're just wasting out time, letting the Dragons attack, letting them push, but knowing their defense has been able to really do well at keeping these guys out consistently. And New Age Dragons, it starts to feel a bit frustrating when you know you have that offensive capabilities, but you just can't do it because the other team is simply shutting you down.
Yeah, and Lindenwood, again, they are playing Disruptor. They are playing Dream Killer for New Age Dragons. If Lindenwood wins, then New Age Dragons have to bet on 2 teams losing, 2 teams of the same win-loss ratio, but maybe a little bit arguably easier matchups at the end, as both of them have to lose if New Age Dragons want to win and make it to, or want to make it to playoffs via game differential.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to rely on you don't want to really rely on record. Be that way to do it. Again, for them, it's all in their hands here for the Dragons. They have to win this series. There's really no other way to look at it. If they lose, well, there's a chance they make the playoffs. I don't bet on that chance. And for the Dragons, I don't think they're betting on that chance either, as they're still trying to find chances. Matt here, 30 boost and attack, maybe a dribble. It's a 3v1, looking for the 50, but Nirakin both evaded the demo, then evaded that challenge dunk from Matt, and the Dragons still searching, but that offense has not formed properly yet, and still, Lindenwood, this rotation on that back line, even if one player gets removed, they have other options that are waiting, and I love this kind of rotation that they have on that goal line, because so many teams sit stagnantly, but Lindenwood are a team that moves a lot, and it does mean that whoever's on that back line can be replaced by someone else.
Yeah, and that's worked extremely well. Again, saving those shots from the demos, from the 50s, you know, it works very well, but it doesn't work if you can't hit the ball. Christian's going to get credit for that goal, but that only really went in off the miss from the backline player.
Yeah, Nirakin there with a huge whiff, and New Age Dragons, well, it's not the goal they were expecting. It's one they will take. At this point in the game, it feels like that's a goal they kind of need. They need something to get the offense going, because right now they just have not been able to crack the code of this Lindenwood White defense, and they're still struggling to find the answer here. Lindenwood, one last game reminder, on an overtime, so New Age Dragons, they don't want to be there again. In fact, they don't want to be in this position either, because Nirakin was looking to be threatening on that goal, and Lindenwood looking for opportunities. Here comes Matt, that one dunked Nirakin. Trying to hit it towards the net, but it will stay wide. Gabe challenged. Low boost out. Everybody on the Dragons at 0 at this point. Matt with nothing. In for the goal. Christian with nothing. Here comes Gabe, and New Age Dragons at this point, they might be wanting overtime because they have nothing left in the tank, and Lindenwood has all the cards in their favor.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just these small things, you know, Lindenwood, they have the boost, they have the pressure. Matt finally has the boost. Matt has the air dribble, and with 11 seconds left, I think New Age Dragons, unless Lindenwood get a quick goal, they're going to go onto triple match point.
You mean double match point, but yes,
Double match point.
Even so, yeah, I know these games have felt pretty fast for us actually at times. As New Age Dragons here, just 11 seconds to go. Gabe wants to seal it. That one will fall in off the post. And now there's no question about it. New Age Dragons will be going to match point here. And, well, this might be a bit of a sigh of relief for them here, Panda, because this game, I'll be honest, it didn't feel like one they should have won.
Yeah, not really. But, I mean, you know, that's a big sigh of relief coming from New Age Dragons. You gotta breathe easy that, okay, we're on match point now. We just need to win one more game. Just one more game to secure this series and to secure playoffs. But Lindenwood, they're going to fight hard as they did all game for pretty much over 3 minutes of that game before that equalizer came out from New Age Dragons. I feel like they're going to carry that into game number 4.
And look at this on the scoreboard. Everybody on the Dragons getting a goal. Again, we talked about that offense. It needs to be better distributed. And right now, in that game, pretty well distributed. Even the shots. 3 shots for Gabe, 2 for Christian, 4 for Matt. It was a pretty even offensive game for the Dragons by the end of it. And that's where the goals came from. That's where all their goals came from, was the end of that game. So, the Dragons, what we say works. we are analysts here for a reason. So, what we say is, you know, what we believe in here. And for the Dragons, maybe they've been listening in. Because, they've definitely taken some of those ideas, and as you see, it works here against teams like Lindenwood.
Yeah, I mean, Lindenwood, The game that they didn't win was when Nerikin was a little bit more silent, a little bit more pushed back in game number 3. So maybe Nerikin also being that difference maker on offense with Drufus, because we saw in game number 2, Nerikin was pushing that ball down a lot of the time. He was making those passes, he was making those shots. So I think Nerikin is also going to be the big difference maker for Lindenwood on offense.
We'll see if he will be able to come alive again here in game number 4. We'll see if maybe he can be able to push this one to the championship. What a start tonight it would be if we go to a game 5 with one of the team's playoff chances basically on the line at that point. But the Dragons, I mean, they don't want this to be interesting. They want this to end now. They want it to be a boring series where they can just win and go to the playoffs without question. But it's going to be a tough ask. Here's Christian. What about a chance? Oh, that one was off the crossbar. Nearly went in. The Dragons already fronting on the goal, but we're only 30 seconds in right now. And for Lindenwood, not a good start for this team as New Age is already breaking through. And again, if you got to be scared here now. Gabe's got a shot. Nobody's back. And the Dragons taking what they learned from Game 3 and they're really putting that to use.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe there's a miscommunication on who was going to go for that shot, but Drufus and MK both jumped for a shot, but MK had no chance of hitting that ball unless there was a mistouch coming out from New Age where they launched it to the right. MK had no touch on that ball, so realistically he should have been maybe second or third man and should have been able to save that ball. So just these tiny things, miscommunications, misplays, overcommits, going to be the difference maker between Lindenwood forcing a game 5 and Lindenwood ending their series.
As Matt now looking for a chance, MK dumped away by Christian. Here comes Gabe looking for a second goal. Matt already up for it. He's threatening in the air, but that chance won't go. And Lindenwood University Whites will clear it away, but stopped by Christian, short of the goal line. Here comes Gabe, sent down the field. New Age Dragons looking to roar themselves back into a heavy lead. A great pass there from Gabe, but an even better save from Drufus, as it was Matt looking to threatening on that goal. Christian now can't get past Nerikin. Drufus jumping in as well. New Age Dragons give them space here, and again, it's a team that's not confident right now in the New Age Dragons, but they're the ones with the lead. They don't have to play aggressively anymore. It's Lindenwood who have to do so, but Lindenwood have 3 minutes, and if I'm the Dragons, I would rather play more aggressively at this point because there's still so much time remaining.
Yeah, or at least, you know, if you are going to play a little bit more defensive, still keep someone in that midfield. Keep that first man. Maybe, you know, he doesn't have to try and be going for shots the entire time, but at least be in midfield to cut out passes, to cut out aerial plays, to cut out any threatening shots coming in. So I think New Age, they can, you know, rest easy in that they don't have to play behind or play catch up, but they should still try and cut out that midfield pressure.
Lindenwood the clear. Here comes Gabe off the back wall looking for the bump in front. He's got it! Christian! Oh, MK stops that one short. Keeps his team in it, but Matt's jumping. MK's got it again. MK, multiple stops. Lindenwood White better be thanking him for that because he has just saved his team on a couple of chances that may have been the ones to end their chances in the series. As now looking for another chance as Matt. Gabe still jumping for it, even with no boost, just trying to find something on the ball. Christian jumping. New Age Dragons really pushing this Lindenwood White team back, and Lindenwood does not look comfortable. It feels like they are getting suffocated. They don't have a lot of room on that back line, and we're seeing that come back to bite them here as Dragons continue to make life tougher and tougher for this Lindenwood side.
Yeah, Lindenwood really doesn't look comfortable. They don't look like they can trust themselves. New Age look like a completely different team compared to game 1 and especially game number 2, as now they look comfortable. They look like they can trust themselves. Matt has the air dribble and Matt has the mechanics, as that one almost goes in, but Drufus gets a long clear. And again, New Age, they just look their full shape selves, and Lindenwood looked like a team who was not won a single series.
Yeah, but even with that said, it's still a 1-goal difference. The Dragons have only been able to score once on that Lindenwood White net. I do not feel comfortable. If I'm a Dragons fan here, you really need them to get that second goal to, give themselves some breathing room. Because Lindenwood, even though they may not look good now, one mistake, one chance can send it tied. Oh, but that's a big miss. Drufus should have scored that, but he missed wide left, and they may not get a chance like that again.
Yeah, that was a big miss coming out, and that's another big miss coming out in Lindenwood defense, as that's not a great clear away. Nirakin gets the goal line save. Again, the final 30 seconds, one goal is all it takes to go into an equalizer. But I don't think New Age Dragons, the way that they've been playing, they're going to let that happen.
They're definitely not going to make it easy here, as now Drufus, what a touchdown field! It's all him on the net! Always missed another open net, and that's another chance Lindenwood will not get back. Christian gets the stuff with MK, jumping up for it is him. Matt, saved by Nirakin, 0 seconds on the clock, but MK can't keep it alive, and the New Age Dragons take the series. They're going to the playoffs too. Missed open nets there from Lindenwood White in the final seconds, and that ends their series.
Yes, and that ends their season career right there, as they do not get to play all 5 games. They won 1 game, so, at least they won 2 games overall. But that has got to be absolutely crushing for Drufus. He's been the lead shooter, the lead scorer for Lindenwood White, and when it counted most, he just could not find the back of the net.
Yeah, of course. Again, New Age Dragons, as expected, took the series. Maybe it wasn't as confident as people wanted it to be, but at the very least for this New Age side, they can be happy knowing they're going to the Academy Series playoffs. There's nothing to be worried about anymore for them. They are a team that has made it. It wasn't pretty, but it didn't have to be to get into the playoffs. They just had to make sure it happened. And well, for this New Age side, again, I think they can rest easy a little bit now because they've got, a little bit of time to, see if they can get things a little bit better, play a little bit better, improve a little bit more going into the playoffs, because competition's only going to get tougher. And with how these guys, started their season, they're going to have some pretty tough competition to go up against.
Absolutely. As New Age Dragons, congratulations again for, making it over to the playoffs. They can rest easy. They made the playoffs. They secured their spot. Evolve, Skylight, and FFE blow up. I think their season, sadly, has officially ended. But we are going to, in a minute, transfer over to an interview with a New Age Dragons player and, or players. Nope, just player, and it's going to be Christian. Welcome in, Christian. How was it getting that win?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Good way to end the season, of course, on a win.
Yeah, of course, and I know for you again, it's late, so I don't want to keep you, here for too long, my friend. But I mean, for you guys, it was not a pretty series. We can definitely admit. I think you can definitely freely admit it was not a very good series here against Lindenwood University White. But you guys made it happen, got the win at the end, and it was a little rough, especially at the start. Lindenwood felt like a team that actually could upset you guys. So, what did you guys kind of do going to those final couple of games to make sure you really took the series, because it did take some work to get there?
Yeah, well, like I said, first game, it's like first game jitters, just trying to get used to each other. That's why it was so scrappy. I felt like we could have really taken all 3, but we had one player that had internet issues, which didn't really help. But we overcame it, and we just had to lock in, and that helped, of course.
Of course, while it's happening as well, thank you for the sub there, Cody. Welcome in. Thank you so much, man. 2 months is an amazing feat here. Again, we're right now interviewing Ish Christian, the captain of New Age Dragon. They just win and make the playoffs in the Academy Series. Actually, Christian was also fun as Cody actually won the Academy Series a couple seasons. So, he might be able to give you tips on what it's like in the playoffs, because I can tell you it is no easy feat.
Hell yeah, I'd like that.
So I mean, I gotta ask him one final question. Do you think your team is ready for the playoffs? Do you think that you guys will make it far in the playoffs, or are you a little bit nervous going into these higher tier teams?
How do I answer that one? I guess, yeah, we'll have a bit of nerves there coming up against teams that are a lot higher than us, obviously. But I will make sure we'll be ready. We're gonna fight to the very end. Every one of us will give 100%, of course, and that's all I can really ask for. We all go. We win and lose as a team, and that's all what really matters to me. To be fair.
Again, congrats on your win here to you, Christian, and to the rest of New Age Dragons. Congrats on making the playoffs. Says you love this dude's accent. Yeah, he's English. Cody. By the way, Cody just said you have a good accent. So, no one ever says that to me. Always the Europeans who get those compliments. But again, congrats on your win. Congrats on making the playoffs here, Christian. You know, is there any last things you want to say? Any last shoutouts before again you probably go to sleep? You know, any last people you want to thank so far? Because it is the end of the regular season, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that have helped you along the way.
Shout out to New Age, of course, for fielding this roster. I know it's been a hard season for us with the amount of roster change we've had to do, with some people dropping out, unfortunately. Which is a New Age, the team, Matt, Gabe, Galloway as well, and everyone else that's participated. The coach for helping us along this way. We've had 2 coaches this season, actually. They've been a great help for us, and just everyone else for the support for us has been brilliant.
And thanks so much for joining us here, Christian, and again, congrats once again for making the playoffs. Go to sleep, man. It's late for you, but hopefully we'll see you again very soon in the Academy Series playoffs.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Well, and Panda, that's also, I think, the end of Unite here. Again, you're only on for this one match, but I was happy to have you here again. And is there any last things that you want to say before this stream will go to break and we'll be back with our next series?
I mean, I just want to wish you with, the wonderful, wonderful rest of your stream and how great it's been. And also, congratulations on doing so great with the Proving Grounds.
Well, thank you very much. And again, thanks for joining me on the Proving Ground as well as to all of you out there again. Thank you so much for joining on for a little bit, but we'll be back very soon. Again, this is only one of 4 matches. Our next match will be part of the Evolution Championship Series. Cronos takes on Underworld Wolves Black in a best of 5. You'll be seeing that match up next after this quick break. Oh, I muted myself. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry about that. Welcome back to the sportiest stream. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. We have got our second of what will be 4 matches today up and ready in just a few minutes. It will be. Well, first, let's actually talk about the match we had before. I'm a bit ahead here. But our match coming up will be Cronos versus Underworld Wolves Black, part of the Evolve Championship. I know, Evolve Championship Series, and I forgot to update the stream title. I'll fix that too while you guys are at it. But so far, we have seen Lindenwood, White, New Age Dragons, where New Age Dragons did eventually take that win. 3-1, and again, our next match will be Cronos versus Underworld Wolves Black. As long as I can spell Underworld Wolves Black correctly. The, again, Evolution Championship Series. Of course, I cannot spell for the life of me. I'm trying to make sure I get the stream title up for you guys. If you guys would like it. Sure. There you go. Yep, this is the Mannfield League. This is their Champ 1 and Champ 2 division. They're on site. Well, I've done it with Electronic Athletic Organization. Play against Team Ignition. Titles that should have changed, Grim. As now we'll end off with Team Jumba and the Midnite Vipers. 4 great matches here, but again, our next one, Cronos, Underworld Wolves Black, a best of 5 here as Cronos led by Nolan Ehe, Chase's World, and Baby Wazzy joining in for Underworld Wolves Black, Ico Wesky, Grim Queen, Denvex VR, Zerfix, and Tripwire, actually being that most recent addition. I think this will be an interesting, especially with Cronos being 0-2. Still early on in the season that you can't really, it's not easy to predict which team will win. Even though Underworld Wolves are 1-1, they have that weaker record. They are coming off of a 3-0 sweep win just last week against the RC Ambassadors. But both these sides, season's starting off, I would say, in a decently positive position here. Get these teams in very soon. Who's actually joining us in the series. Looks like it's gonna be Tripwire. We haven't had Tripwire back ever since Floofy Strikers were on the stream. That was a very long time ago. I don't know how long ago exactly, but at least a couple months. The last time might even be over a year. We last saw that team. That is again that's an old name. Floofy Strikers. Back when they were on Striker Esports, back in the Skyward series. Not seen the name Tripwire in a very long time, but last time we saw them might have been in May, which that is, yeah, it's a very long time ago. And we'll just be getting into the series soon enough. Prediction poll is live. Yeah, I think the last time we saw Floofy Strikers was in May, so it's been a while. It's been a good many months, so you always come back. Again, they're on against Cronos, who are 2-0 with their wins. Going against PXU Imps and Team Disconnected. Both those teams are 0-2 though, so again, record doesn't always say everything here. It's going to be still a very competitive series, I expect, and I expect it to be close, although we'll see how it is. You're not here trash talk about me? I don't trash talk about you, Aiko. I generally don't do that. I don't think we had a co-caster last time, so you would only be talking about me unless you're talking about like the people that are watching. I don't generally trash talk people, do I? I know I'm a decently critical person, but geez, alright then. I'll try my best to be impartial. I'm usually pretty good at that, so we'll see how things go here again. You're fine? Who in the world are you talking about, Aiko? Someone's trash talking you? I feel like oh dear. Oh, well, again, we'll get this thing sorted out here. It will be this will be a good series. I'm excited to see this. As again, we're just looking to get things set up. Cronos should be joining in any moment here for this best of 5. Both these teams also have coaches as well. Very interesting. Underworld Wolves with Complex as their coach, and Cronos with Billy Bob Bacon as their coach. Yes, that is his actual name. And I mean, I don't think we've had a name like Billy Bob Bacon on the stream for a while, but it's a great name. I love it. As again, look to get things sorted out. Prediction poll again, still live, so get your votes on who you think will take it. Do you take Underworld Wolves Black as the underdogs, or do you go with Team Cronos, who are going to try to continue their currently undefeated season? They beat out their first opponent, 3-1 their second, so on a very good track record. Gonna be one of the scariest teams in this tournament, but it's gonna take them a good amount of fighting to get through Underworld Wolves, especially again since this is the first team they're playing against that has won this season. So it'll be interesting years. Again, both these teams should be in any moment. Again, we'll get them in just a moment, just a minute or so. Cronos will be on the blue, Underworld Wolves be on the black. On the black? On the orange. they're Underworld Wolves black, but they're on the orange. For what will be this upcoming series. Again, Aiko, Tripwire, Devrex, all the players are in the lobby right now. I'm assuming that's who's playing as well. Again, we've seen Aiko and Tripwire's teammates before, back on Floofy Strikers, back on the 2s and 3s. Which both made it to the wild card. I don't know if any of them made it to the playoffs, but they definitely made wild card. And of course, Deadrex, we saw the last time we saw Deadrex was on was on Underworld Wolves when they played against their week 1 opponent. That team being Sporting Midwest, who now are also 1-1 actually, point in their season. So definitely an interesting season so far for this Underworld Wolves black side. These did make playoffs? Okay, cool. They did. All right, I must not have followed that. I know for a fact 2s didn't, because I think I casted the series you guys lost. The matches you lost in the 2's wildcard matches. I don't think I casted your 3's wildcard all that often. I vaguely remember one of them making it, but I didn't know which one. And honestly, that made me think that maybe nobody made it, but... Oh yeah, I do remember you lost to Boltini in the wildcard. Again, we'll... These teams in, actually, the Cronos team actually just joined, so that's great to see as we will get this series started in just a moment. Let's make sure. Everything good? Everything is good. This is going to be a fun match. Our second series of the night here. On one side, a team that's 2-0, that's undefeated, going into week 3. The other one, Underworld Wolves Black, looking to make a resurgence after their week 1 loss now, having won in week 2. Can they continue that in week number 3? It's an Evolution Championship Series matchup, and this one, pretty big here on this stream. Cronos are 2-0, they all be on the blue. Underworld Wolves Black on the orange, they are 1-1. With the duo and Aiko and Tripwire reunited once again, is that going to be a duo that paves the way for more success? A lot of times when you see those two together, I think there's a lot of talking about how those two, at least when I remember them being together, it was such a scary offensive duo. Love to play aggressive, they love to work around each other. Deadrex is probably going to be sitting back a lot further, I would assume. You need to have someone be able to counteract that kind of aggression. And so for Underworld Wolves Black, I think the big talk about them will be Deadrex. Can he hold that back line well? Because right now for Underworld Wolves Black, offense going to be the name of the game as Aiko with the first goal. And Cronos right now have not been able to get used to this one. Deadrex a fake on Chase's world. That's Aiko with an easy shot to the back of the net. A great start for this Underworld Wolves Black side, but and this is only the start of their series. There's still a lot more action to go. Here comes Deadrex. Aiko already up for it, but won't get that touch as Complex coming up the follow. Thank you, Complex, for the follow. Welcome into Spuddy Stream. Good luck tonight. I know, obviously, as the coach of Underworld Wolves Black. Be an interest. Again, it's going to be a close series. I'm interested in this. I think a lot of people would definitely be interested in a match that is this close. So far, the Underworld Wolves Black have lead, and also, I think a fun thing to mention this season already. This Underworld Wolves Black team has only won or lost in sweeps so far. For Cronos, again, they've won, but one of their matches was a sweep, the other one was a 3-1. Both these teams, not all that used to, I think, exceptionally long series, so it's going to be a test of their mentality, their playmaking here. That's a big mistake. Nolan will put it in. And Team Cronos gifted the tie game. As Baby Wise just going to throw it at the net, and in that position, Deadrex, he's got to recognize Aiko's behind him there. Some big miscommunication from that Underworld Wolves black line. It's a big mistake. The communication falls apart. It is Cronos will have their first of this series. Underworld Wolves now with Aiko. Aces World won't get there. Aiko still on it, beat by Nolan. Now Tripwire. Challenged by Nolan Ehe. Baby Wazzy looking for a second one there. Team Cronos starting to really attack, and Underworld Wolves Black I've always mentioned it, they have never looked all that comfortable on defense. Even in that first week, that was an issue for them. They just weren't able to look comfortable together on that defensive line. Well, they have the offensive power, you know, the offensive weapons, that defensive back line. That's going to win the matches here. To be able to make them a strong team. And so far, you know, I've been seeing if maybe Deadrex will be that defensive strength fold. Right now, he has not been that. And seeing Cronos really want to hold down this midfield because of it. It is Deadrex moving up the field. Again, hasn't been a lot of defense from this Underworld Wolves black side, but the offense, we have seen it there. It's now Aiko. That one goes wide, tripwire. Go to the corner, and still fire for Underworld Wolves black. Running around that offense, trying to find some open space, but they won't get it easy. Baby Wazi in the midfield, challenged by Aiko Wesky. Cronos still keeps it. Nolan has that flick. Aiko will clear it away. So far, none of these teams really wishing to try something new to really take advantage. They're just waiting for a mistake, and well, mistakes will happen at some point. It's not the way you want to see teams at this caliber, at this level play. You want to see them be able to create their own opportunities. This feels like none of these sides confident in themselves to do it. That is going to really hurt on them, because once one of these teams can get that offense going, the other one is going to find it impossible to come back. Right now, it has been Cronos who's won the offense, but again, feels like they are more just putting pressure on Underworld Wolves black, waiting for mistakes as Underworld Wolves back the other way with tripwire off the back wall. Dead Rex shot on. Chase's World was there to save it, and now pitched the other way. Nolan just beat Aiko, and this will go in. Team Cronos with the lead. As I mentioned with Nolan and Baby Wazi will find an open net as Aiko caught in the midfield with no other place to go. It's Cronos, who after having initially, you know, gone down in this game after an Aiko Wesky lead, have now put 2 goals on the board to take the lead themselves. The World Wolves are definitely threatening that net. And you can really feel that tension here for Cronos on that back line. They do not look comfortable as a miss there. This one saved away by Chase's World. Dead Rex up next to it. Maybe looking in the midfield. Chasing it down is Dead Rex, but that touch will be an easy clear for Nolan. Maybe Wazi. An awkward touch backwards. Chase's World does get the dunk on tripwire, but Cronos do not look comfortable. They will clear it away though, and this will give them breathing room. That defense on that defensive rotation was what I meant to say. Just didn't look comfortable. Didn't look like one that had been really set up for them. They'll be happy with that clear because it gives them time to now put in that rotation. It'll be them who have the offense, but 30 seconds to go. That defense, what they're a little more focused on at this point. They can hold a 1-goal lead here for this final 20 seconds now, but gotta be careful. This Underworld Wolves black offense now starting to search even more. Here comes Tripwire around the corner, looking in field for himself. The Doomsday Dish will be stopped by Baby Wazi, and Aiko having to go all the way back, beat by Nolan, bouncing to the midfield. Chase's World won't put it in. Baby Wazi keeping up at 0 seconds, but Cronos won't give him the chance. This will hit the ground, and they'll start the series in the lead. The undefeated side, after having gone down early in this game, will find 2 goals from Nolan, and that will be the only 2 goals they'll need. Series starts off for them, but Underworld Wolves black, you saw that offense. Even though they only had 3 shots, they are the ones that could strike a little bit better. They're the ones who didn't hold the offense, but definitely got the chances when they had those opportunities, when they were given the plays to make to see if they would work. And well, the shots are pretty minimal. I don't expect it to stay that way for very long. Both these teams are ones that seem like they're going to throw a lot of chances at that net. Are not afraid to do that, and I expect we're going to see a back and forth between Cronos and Underworld Wolves black. Although I think this game was just a testing game for them. A lot more to go in this series, and Cronos, again, it's a good start for this side. But they've got to continue that, and they've got to be able to improve that offense, because Underworld Wolves black definitely are going to be looking to do that here, going into game 2. The scoreline reset, but these teams definitely still trying to improve on their past results, as that one saved by Dead Rex. Baby Wazi still looking in the midfield. Chase's World can't put it on. And Cronos will just stand back here as a clear from Tripwire. Will clear the pressure away, and So far, we've seen a lot of heavy touches, heavy clears on these sides, not a lot of control from either team. And at this level, it is tough to control the ball, but the best teams are the ones that can find ways to do it, can control that midfield, can control that pace. Cronos have had showings of that. Can they make it work? Well, they do here. Nolan's got his third goal of the series, and for Cronos, only 36 seconds in, already a great start as Chase's World finds his captain in Nolan Ihi. That will be a beautiful play for them. Nolan. Aiko clears it away, gets past Chase's World. Baby Wazi dunks, but still the ball getting away from Underworld Black as a double commit there from Deadrex and Tripwire. Now a dunk from Nolan on Aiko Wesky. This one going to net, but it will stay wide, at least for now. Baby Wazi double tap attempt will stay high, and Cronos, I mean, just look at how threatening this offense is. They have no problem attacking all around that net. But they haven't found that an easy breakthrough chance. Now a demo. Aiko sent to the ceiling, bouncing in front. She was the only one to score last game, but Wolves Black, they need a little more magic, I think, from players not just named Aiko to get this game to really be one where they can really control the series. It just hasn't felt that way for them. Cronos has had a lot more of, I think, an even offense, and seen that kind of evenness on the attacking prowess come to play when they get their chances, because every single player on that Cronos side can score, can play offense. There's no one player leading, although Nolan has been the one to score. Maybe Wazi, Chase's World, they have been just as threatening on their chances. And their defense as well has been immaculate. As here comes Nolan Ihi. Off the back wall, second touch. Aiko waiting, but it will be Deadrex to clear. Cronos, and just waiting back there. Not willing to take any risks at this point, and I really think for a team that's only up by 1 with 3 minutes to go, they should take some chances. Because I don't know if this 1 goal lead will hold for long, and generally 1 goal leads don't hold for long. A Tripwire! That's a free chance for him! And he has no problem scoring that one. Underworld Wolves Black with an equalizer as Chase's World and Baby Wazi caught staring at each other. And that's a goal that Tripwire will never be missing. And for Cronos, that offense, it's been present. Still for them, the shooting has not been. Well, last game it didn't matter too much because their defense was strong. This game they do not have that 1 goal lead anymore. They're probably not going to be able to survive, with these slim margins every single game. They're going to need to find something else, something a little different up on that offensive side to really break through this Underworld Wolves side. As Chase's World now. One cleared away as Nolan. Aiko. Edvex challenges too, but Cronos still have the ball, but it won't be held for long. A Tripwire with control. Being chased down the field, but he does find Aiko in the midfield. That one, miss, Tripwire, shot, Baby Wazi, what a save off the post, and Cronos somehow cleared away. A big break on the defensive half as Underworld Wolves Black almost scored the go-ahead goal, but almost doesn't work for them. A great save on the goal line. Baby Wazi had no he really had no reason to get that save, and yet somehow he finds it. Cronos now, can they build off of it? Underworld Wolves Black looking to build off the confidence that last chance has given them. Cronos though, chance, Baby Wazi, just wide of the goal line. That one sent out by Aiko. Cronos again holding the midfield, but it's Tripwire. But that one wide of the net. Nolan in the midfield. Still Nolan. Gonna get through Aiko Wesky. Baby Wazi up next. Can't get the dunk on Deadrex as Chase's World bumps out of the way, but he somehow finds the way back to it. In the midfield though, Aiko. Chase's World keeps it close. Will be able to try to win the midfield, but Tripwire again just staunch midfield defense from him. He has not let Cronos get through them that way, as now a chance to Deadrex. That one high of the goal. Cronos will have another play. A dribble from Nolan will be removed for his efforts. The Chase's World. Now Baby Wazi. Cronos, it feels like a team that isn't happy with how this game is going. Feels like the Underworld Wolves Black are the ones really making this Cronos team second guess their opportunities. Now they can't even get offense, baby Wazzy. We'll save it there. Another challenge in the midfield. Deadvex won't be able to get that one past Chance's World, and Team Cronos clears it away, but Tripwire, maybe one more opportunity. Baby Wazzy gives him no chance, and we are going to overtime. It's game number 2. Cronos, Underworld Wolves Black. Underworld Wolves, maybe a win! Tripwire, miss! Aiko, that's off the post! And Underworld Wolves, that should have ended it. But now, another chance. Baby Wazzy, the flick, off the post as well. Both these teams getting scary early on, but no chance finding the net just yet. As Cronos, look at these clears of the back line, a big clear. Tripwire has that initial stop, but Cronos looking for a follow-up here with Chase's Will. Deadvex saves it himself, chases again, rolling in front, it's open! Oh, but it won't be scored. Cronos couldn't get close enough. Still, Baby Wazzy, Aiko, now Nolan off the back wall. Now Baby Wazzy, that one redirected off the crossbar. Cronos on the net, but can't get the goal. Now they will. It's Nolan again, and it's Cronos who will take triple match point here in game 2 overtime. Another 2-1 win here in a game, and for Cronos, it was a sketchy one to say the least. Underworld Wolves, so many more shots. 8 on their side. Wazzy had 8 himself, but 0 goals. And again, that Cronos offense, it just feels like it's the only thing holding them back from being able to just run away with these matches. Just can't seem to... They get the pressure, but they can't seem to score off it easily unless Nolan is the one on the ball. 2 shots and 2 goals, but you do worry about the amount of work Nolan is having to do to score. Is it going to be sustainable for Cronos? I really don't know if it will be. Underworld Wolves Black. Last time they were on the stream, they got swept. That was in week 1. Now, making a substitution. Grim Queen coming in for Aiko Wesky. Making a change, seeing if that will be able to flip their mentality around. Underworld Wolves have not been able to really take the lead in this series. And now, in Game 5, they have no other choice but to show offense, to play aggressive, to get in the face of Cronos. They haven't done so far. It might start to hurt them. So here we go. Back in the game number 3, Cronos could sweep the Underworld Wolves here with one more win. They, again, have won their last 2 games, both 2-1. They've only scored 4 goals, and they've all come from Nolan, but in this game 3, again, I don't know if they're going to be able to continue that kind of work around. Going to need to have somebody else score, some other form of offense, at least something different, and that might be it. A beautiful pass. Nolan finds Baby Wazzy. Wazzy finds Nolan. And Nolan finds the goal. Cronos getting some pass in the play. And again, that's the difference they need. That's something new. That's something unique. And that's something that is only going to make life more difficult for the Underworld Wolves Black side, who have already had enough troubles as it has been so far. Maybe we'll find an equalizer. Nolan will save it there. And for Cronos, at this point, now it's not about just holding this lead. It's about adding more to it. Another, again, early start. We saw that in game 2 with an early start. They need a second goal, and they might try to find it soon here as Chase's Will. Will we stop there, Baby Wazzy now? That one bounces up in his favor. Gets past Grim Queen. Deadvex won't have it. Tripwire will wait as he recognizes no shot coming in. Still looking to pass. Nolan! That's his 6th of the series! And it's the 6th for Team Cronos. A 2-0 lead in game 3. This is the fastest they've gotten 2 goals in a game. And things are only looking tougher for this Underworld Wolves Black side, who again made a substitution, made a change, but will that change be able to help them? Right now, it has only made things tougher as they get used to each other, but what a shot! Deadvex has got an answer, and this game is now 2-1. We're not even past this first minute of regulation. Underworld Wolves Black, Deadvex just throws it on the net, tests that back line. And I think they'll be pretty happy with that result. Deadvex has been an offensive, has definitely been showing up a lot more on offense than I thought he would. Again, I thought he would have been that most defensive player, but if Underworld was Black, he has felt the most aggressive. And yet still, it doesn't matter! Chase's World! It's the 2-goal lead reestablished! And finally, Nolan won't be the one to score on that net. His teammates do it here. Cronos, they'll be feeling pretty happy about that. A pretty important goal at a good time for them. As things are only going to be made tougher for Underworld Wolves Black if they can't find an answer. And for Grim Queen, again, being that additional player, can she, be someone who can change things up, switch up that playstyle from Underworld Wolves Black in a positive direction? Because so far, Cronos feels like they have even more control. Feels like after that last game, they're finally at the kind of what they feel maybe is maybe a little more normal for them. A lot more offense, a lot more success, a lot more breakthrough chances. I don't know if it has to do with Grim Queen being subbed in, or more rather than just Cronos being able to finally kind of get that ice off of them, really be able to attack meaningfully. Maybe it's the confidence. Maybe it's them just having a little bit more fortune on their offensive plays. Whatever it is, it's allowing Cronos to be a much better team right now. And for Underworld Wolves Black, well, they do still have a little under 3 minutes to go. That time will tick away from them quickly, and they've got to find something. Bounce off the corner. Grim Queen waiting, but she might be waiting a little too long. Chases World. That one pinching the midfield for Nolan. He's looking for a chance. That one is kept away, but Baby Wazzy's got the shot. Tripwire on the goal line. Keeps it out, but another chance. Baby Wazzy. That's going off the back wall. Chases World already up the drop down. And it's Cronos on another goal. Chances World. It is truly his world when he can jump up and get shots like that. And this, for Underworld Wolves Black, time running away from them. Again, for a team that's 1-1, they came in against a team that's 2-0 in Cronos. And Underworld Wolves Black, it feels like they've had the toughest schedule so far this season. And even so, Cronos, they're showing you why they're undefeated. They're showing you why they should be one of the scariest teams in this division. Once that offense gets going, it's going to be tough to stop this team from scoring as often as they are. And even when they weren't playing their best, even in those last 2 games where they felt like things were slow, felt like things weren't on the right track, they still had Nolan stand up, play his way, and be able to get the wins for Cronos. At this point for Team Cronos, they're in such a comfortable position. Underworld Wolves Black, they've got a lot to do. They've got to play all in offense, and unfortunately, that's not a team I think can do that very well. They especially can't do it well when Cronos do like the challenge in that midfield. Take that ball away with those challenges. As another one out in front of the blue net, but it will not work as Underworld Wolves Black can't attack on it. Dead Rex going to the side wall. His chance will not work for him as Team Cronos, a big clear from Baby Wazzy. It will be Underworld Wolves Black who, while they will find the clear back, still are searching just for offense here as we're heading down to the final 60 seconds. For Cronos, that means they're 60 seconds away from taking the series in a sweep. They just need to basically hold their 3-goal lead. Underworld Wolves Black, this season, it's been one of, topsy-turvy performances. It's a team that, when things go well, it goes really well. When things don't go well, things really don't go well. While they will get a goal here from Grim Queen. There's 41 seconds to go. And this is not a lot of time for a team like Underworld Black who like to who like to make slow progression, who like to take their time. Not a lot of time for a team like this to get the goals they need and to keep their series alive. As Team Cronos chases Wall off the kickoff. The dribble. Up by Tripwire is... I don't really mention too much to Tripwire. I remember one thing about Tripwire that was so scary was his mechanics. Definitely seeing parts of that here. But right now, it's Nolan who will get his hat trick. A beautiful flick to the top corner. And this is Team Cronos once again being able to put a punch right back at that orange net. Underworld Wolves Black. Man, this series, it's one that's going to be out of their reach at this point. Less than 30 seconds to go. Team Cronos are not letting them have those opportunities at all. Team Cronos, it's going to be a rough feeling here, although... Sorry, not a rough feeling it's going to be a good feeling. For Underworld Black, it's going to be a rough feeling. Knowing this series is one they could have taken if they had a better performance in those first 2 games. Cronos, though, will be the ones to take the series. A 3-0 sweep. It was Nolan who led the charge, and even in Game 3, when it was much more even, Team Cronos had the number of Underworld Wolves Black. They're still undefeated for Underworld Wolves Black. The record now 1-2, as for this team, their emotions maybe got the better of them. It was a team that just, again, they can't seem to turn the series around. It's a team that just can't seem to be able to, come back from adversity easily enough, and for them, it'll be a bit of a disappointing result. And Cronos takes the series there. 3-0 record. Nobody able to stop Team Cronos now, as, again, their record only improving here as their season is looking to get better and better. As, again, what a match win for them. They'll be happy about that one there. As we'll take a look at our schedule, our upcoming matches, our last 2 matches of the night. Electronic Athletic Organization Team Ignition, and it's Team Jumba Midnite Vipers. After that, we'll have co-casters for both those matches, but for now, we're going to get Nolan to join in for a little bit. A little interview with him here, and chat with him before we'll go to our next series. Again, that electronic match. That's probably going to be our at least for me, that's the most interesting match tonight. It's 2 really good teams in the Blackline Championship Series, so that'll be a fun match. But for now, again, we'll be chatting with Nolan. See how he feels here again. The first time that this side is here. Hello there, Nolan. How you doing? It's nice to see you. Congrats on your 3-0 win. You guys still undefeated. Can you tell me maybe kind of how you're feeling after that series?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. The team, honestly, we've come a long way together. Longer than I expected, really, but I'm glad the work we've been putting in recently. Got a good feeling about this team.
As you should have a good feeling. I mean, you guys, again, you have only beaten teams that have currently been teams that have only lost. So, for you guys, again, it's not been, a lot of people may be saying it hasn't been a hard schedule for you guys, at least in the first 2 weeks, at least not by how it looks. So, to get this win here against a team that has won, that won last week in a 3-0 sweep, does that make you guys a little more confident on how you guys are playing the season, or does it change anything at all in the first place?
I mean, honestly, for me, and I try to tell the other guys this as well, I want them to take every game as serious as they can, treat every game like it's, do or die. We shouldn't feel like, oh, because someone has a losing record that we need to take it easy or whatnot. Just play every game like you normally would, give it your best, and we'll see what happens from there.
Again, you guys are now 3-0. Your record only, again, seems to be improving. You guys definitely establishing yourself as one of the scariest teams in this division, and it did feel like that offense took a little bit of time to get involved, but hey, you guys got it at the end there, and again, next week you'll play against RC Ambassadors, so another team that I think is 0-2 right now. So for you guys, again, that second half of your season is going to be scary, though. Crossbar Villains, Royal Infinite, Paul Interstellar, and Evolve Skylight. Those are teams that are going to have really good records by the end of their season. So for you guys, kind of fighting with those top teams. Again, we haven't seen you play against, some of those really scary teams until the end of the season. So for you guys, what are you going to do? Kind of prepare for that, because those matches are going to really test you guys, and you're only going to have to improve as the season goes on.
Right. Yeah. So, for me, I'm probably just gonna keep working, putting in the hours. For the team, I'm gonna try and get us a lot more scrims, get us prepared, maybe even find some higher ranked teams to play, kind of give us a little bit of a challenge, see how we can compare. And then when game day comes, we'll just see how it goes from there.
Yeah, I love to have that. Love to hear that mentality from you. Again, congrats on your win here. 3-0 sweep over Underworld Wolves Black. Is there any last things you want to say here, Nolan? Any last shoutouts? Anything you want to say at all?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my boy NASA. He's always keeping me in touch, making sure I'm doing all right, playing games with me, keeping me positive, making sure everything's going smooth in my life, and I really can't tell him how much I appreciate it, more than he can ever imagine, probably. But yeah,
Well, again, congrats on your win. A huge performance to you here and to the, to the Cronos side here. Again, congrats on your fearless sweep here, Nolan Hehe. And have an amazing rest of your nights. Hopefully, we'll see you guys again soon. But for now,
all right, thank you. Have a good.
that was Nolan Hehe there, the captain of Team Cronos, a 3-0 sweep over Underworld Wolves Black. When we come back, we'll be on a pretty long break, but when we come back, probably will be the biggest match of the night. Dino the Electronic Athletic Organization, Team Ignition, number 1 seed in a group versus number 2 seed in a group. The final match of the regular season for the Blackline Contenders series. But again, we'll be off to a break. We'll be there in just a moment, but stick around, enjoy the time, and we'll be back sooner than you guys expect. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sporty stream. Nice to see you all. My name is Sporty FC, and we've got another Blackline Championship Series matchup coming to you guys. The end of the Contenders series is here, but both these teams at number 1 seed still up for grabs. Dino Electronic Athletic Organization take on Team Ignition. I'm joined here by Mia once again. You got to see the other match on this Contender series only a few days ago with Yukon Blue, Cloudy Blue. Now this matchup, a whole different situation, a number 1 seed and a number 2 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that this one's are they both one's undefeated, correct? So this would be either a tie or just confirming where they are. I mean, at worst it's for seeding, right?
It's
This
there's nothing
matchup?
playoff related involved in this.
Yeah, that they're both all the way through, just whether who gets first in the group, who gets second, which is always helpful, but I mean, it's just, if you want the better seed, just go out and win. Can be as easy as that sometimes, but I think it's nice final week of the regular season to see the top 2 teams go at it once again right before the playoffs.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see that kind of bracket, here it is. This is what the group looks like right now. Here is, oh my, that says game different, but there you go again. This is our group so far. Again, Dino Electronic undefeated. I just said Mia 6-0. They have not lost yet. Team Ignition only lost coming in week 1 against Yukon Blue, but ever since then they have won all their matches well. So they got a plus 11 game differential versus a plus 14 game differential. The difference, but for Ignition, if they don't want that number 1 seed, which they can get from the series, they need to win 3-1 or better. For Dino Electronic, sorry, not Yukon. We just saw Yukon. For Dino Electronic, as long as they go to Game 5, they will guarantee that number 1 overall seed. But they want to win. What's also important about this seeding is the fact that if they go to that final bracket, if they have a really good record, 6-0 might be good enough for that. Sorry, 7-0 might be good enough for that. They would be able to get a bye through that first round. Not everyone first seed gets that, but they might be able to get it in a double elimination bracket. Skipping around is actually really helpful.
Oh, I mean, it's huge, especially if you end up dropping down. I mean, it's like for every round you advance in the upper bracket, you can save yourself 1, 2, 3 rounds in a lower bracket. So that even in a worst case scenario where you get that bye and then you lose in that first round, you've saved yourself a couple of rounds of hell in that lower bracket. So I mean, that's something that if you can get that, it'd be great. And I mean, even then, perfect regular season never hurts. Always nice to have. Hopefully you don't get too cocky going into playoffs, but get yourself that benefit of that bye. Like is always a good thing to get if you can have it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I mean, for right now, for both these teams, we've seen both these teams before. At least I have definitely seen both these teams before. Dino Electronic and Team Ignition, this is going to be a battle of the midfield for a lot of this series. Both these teams love to control that midfield, love to attack through the midfield. Dino Electronic specifically are a team that has to win the midfield if they're going to dominate a series, and they almost always do it. So far this season, they have done that every single time. But for Team Ignition, they're a much slower team, so pace is not going to be the way they win. They don't ever win by pace. They actually get outpaced by most teams in this group, but the way they do win, though, is just control and making great use of their chances. You're going to see a lot of Ryan. There's a reason why a lot of people, when they come to watch this Ignition side, they love to watch Ryan. He's super mechanical. He's super high ranked. He's a really strong player. He is going to be that weapon that Ignition need to utilize here, especially against the Dino Electronic team that have a ton of, as again I said, ton of midfield. They love to use passing specifically. So
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting kind of back and forth between two sides that, it should be really interesting because they are both pretty different to each other, even though they're in very similar positions.
Yeah, I mean, certainly from what you're saying, I think this will be interesting in that it really just sounds like that we're going to have a game of 2 conflicting play styles, and I think that the winner is going to be whoever can enforce that play style. If you want to play fast and play through the midfield, that's not going to mesh well against a team that's going to want to clog up the midfield, slow the play down, try to gain possession, make solo plays, or even just slow the play down in their advances on attack to throw off the opponents. That's it throws a wrench into your plans, and it goes the other way. If you're trying to play slow and all your opponents want to do is challenge everything as soon as you get it, take the ball off of you, and try to basically play the entire game at supersonic, it's going to be tough to enact that game plan, and that's what's going to decide the top of this group. Is who's going to come out here, who's going to enforce their play style upon the other team.
Yeah, I love what you mentioned again. Both these teams are going to need to find that control early on. And again, Dino Electronic, seen it. And again, I've mentioned, I think Dino Electronic and Team Edition, they're going to want that. That's what they're really searching for at this point, is just waiting on these teams to join on in. But actually, Dino Electronic actually coming in. I forgot they mentioned they actually did say there's a chance that they would have all of them available today, and they do actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, did everyone just join all at once?
That's the Dino Electronic team. All four of the players on that roster have joined. Obviously, they have a sub as well in Sifri. We'll see if Sifri gets any playtime. I know Aura has mentioned the possibility of that in the past, with their season obviously being where it is. But we'll make sure with this team.
Looks like everyone's here though.
It does. We'll have to again. I don't know actually if they're allowed to have subs in. I'll ask them that right now, but
yeah,
remember, we're really close to getting this thing started. I'm excited. This is probably our biggest match of the night between these two teams. It's the end of the regular season. Yeah. Both guaranteed going to the playoffs. Ignition has made it to the playoffs before. Dino Electronic, this is their first time in this Blackline Championship Series, and for them to do this well, there's almost a guarantee that they'll do well in the playoffs. So both these teams don't have anything to lose. They're just looking to beat each other to just be that little bit better.
Yeah, and I think that this can also be a turning point of knowing that. Obviously, they're competitors. They're here. They want to win. Nobody wants to come out and play this game and lose. It's not fun to lose in Rocket League. It's pretty frustrating, honestly. You do want to win, but it's nice knowing that coming in, if you do lose, it is not the end of the world, that it does provide you some room for experimentation. This does allow you that going up against this team, both of these teams really, going up against a team with a completely different play style can provide opportunities where you can try to adapt or even adopt the opposing play style and try to play that way. So that there's some room for some competitive experimentation here, that you can get things from this, but you can try things out, see if things work one more time in the regular season in a competitive format before you head off to the playoffs. Even as a way to just have a different look that you can give a team, that if you want to slow play through the middle, well, maybe come out with a high flying offense that you're gonna use the wings on. Try something different. You wanna play it fast through the middle. Try slow playing it. I'd also like to see that too. See these teams break their molds. So these things that we've come to expect, or at least that you've come to expect from them. I'd also hopefully like to see something different from them.
Well, we'll see how that works here. Again, I love that theory crafting, but now it's time for those theories to be put to the test. The regular season is done. After this series, we're on our final week, but for both these teams, they've already made the playoffs. The real question is, who's going to be at the top of the group? Dino Electronic Athletic Organization on the blue, Team Ignition on the orange.
Off this kickoff, this one onto the back wall. Ryan has this, looking to get it out, bumped off by Covey, going to move this one forward, trying to stay behind that ball, can't get the touch. Ryan sending it forward, but this one put across. That looks like it was Brian. Getting that one off to the side is trying to develop some pressure is Dino. Getting this one into the mid. Ryan gently touching this ball up, and some decent early pressure, being able to keep this. I'm so far impressed, really. This first 30 seconds, Dino Org has managed to really keep this ball in this half and really dominate that the ball is not escaping midfield. They're controlling the boost very well. Good opportunity here as they are running around, and they do manage to convert. Team Ignition on the back foot can't find the fire that they need to make this save.
And one of the big things I talk about is Dino Electronic attack for the midfield, and really a lot of their goals are the results of teamwork, or not the result of one person, the result of the whole team working together. And for Ignition, it's not uncommon for them to play a ton of defense in a series. Unfortunately, against Dino Electronic, that's the one place you really don't want to be against this team, is on that back line, is on the back foot. For Team Ignition, this is going to be a series where they need to just keep themselves away from being kept that far back, or else things are only going to get tougher for them as Dino Electronic continue to find ways through that midfield and onto offense.
Yeah, it's, as a shot does come on here, there is no resulting play from Team Ignition. Ball back in the other half. Ryan collecting this one, though, has a decent air dribble going out. Gets this around one, has this over, can't find it on the crossbar, but bingo, Brian there to follow, finds the opener. for his squad, and we're knotted up at 1, just under a minute and a half in.
And right now, for Ignition, I mentioned, watch out for Ryan. He's that scary player. He's probably one of those players in this league that, you know, that everybody knows. They know how strong this guy is. He's got the mechanics, and he uses it very well. This is a team that's stuck around for a very long time, so it's not that just Ryan's just mechanical. No, he knows these guys well. These guys were all. It's the same roster actually as last season for this Ignition side. They have not made a single change. And last season they made the top 6 in this bracket. So again, this is a team that, as you know, knows each other well, and you're going to see Ryan a lot of times be that one to bring the mechanics to break through that back line, and for any Electronic, that's going to be the player they need to watch out for.
And that's certainly a consideration that has to be made is how familiar these guys are with each other. As this one is above the crossbar, but managed to get out. A couple bumps coming in, but that ball does end up cleared. So this is Dino Electronic looking to go on the attack, but Ryan bringing this one the other way. I like that play from Ryan going forward on the bump. Opportunity shot isn't the greatest. Spoody with that one off into the corner, going to collect this one. Trying to slow play it. Aura is there to follow up this one out in the middle. Couple bumps trying to come out, can't find it. Covey sending a soft one on Ryan. Great backboard defense is there to stop that one. No boost to go up for it. That's going to be left out. Spoody popping that one into the middle. Nobody there though. Can't get anything going. It's Covey knocking this one down, getting it back, trying to get this one back in the zone, but this is a drop pass in the middle to the opposing team. Not the greatest play. The pressure building and building and building. Ignition trying not to crumble under this pressure from the Dino Electronics as they do get a clear and find a couple seconds to breathe.
Yeah, maybe a couple seconds though, but Dino Electronic, one of the scary things about this team is you can hold them back for as long as you want, but that midfield, I say literally they explode out of the midfield. That's how fast their midfield to offensive transition is, and it's one of those things where you can hold pressure on these guys for as long as you want, but it's not going to make a difference. Cloudy Blue, who played against this team only a week ago, we've seen Cloudy Blue, we know how good that team is. That was what caught them. That was the reason why they lost to Dino Electronic, and that's the reason why many teams can lose to this Dino Electronic team. They don't just have good chemistry, they have a good midfield play, and for this team, just look at the way they transition. It's quick, it's decisive, and most importantly, it utilizes teamwork. And right now, you're just seeing that here as Covey outward looking for Aura. Cody will clear it away. Spoody looking in the backfield. Off to the corner he goes, but this one will be sent down the field again. Ignition looking to hold them in, but they won't do it well there. Aura to the back wall. Cody will not be there first. Spoody in for Covey, and that's into the net. Dino Electronic, a 1-goal lead.
And just a fantastic play. Great teamwork. Great job keeping this ball in. I really have noticed that Dino does a fantastic job of when that ball is in their half of getting it out quickly and moving it up. And their ability to move the ball east-west, across the field from side to side, I think is really a big benefit. Keeping players in their lanes down the sides of the field really stretches that defense wide as that one. Little hairy out front, but nothing doing as Spoody able to get the 50 needed. Aura soft touching this into the corner, and that is Covey getting demoed by Cody out front. No tongue twisters there at all, none in the slightest. But I do see what you're saying in this midfield, this midfield domination. They do such a great job keeping the ball in, and I also noticed that too. Is when they get the ball in really high, and they're able to go down through and get all this boost. And I really think that's how they're generating so much pressure, is that the ball is up in the air. Somebody's basically doing a demo rotation, grabbing all this boost so that they can't jump. And they have to sit on the back wall, so they can't get the boost either, as we come down to the last 10 seconds. And this is going to be Team Ignition trying to find one last offensive rush, and they can't. Cody up for the 54, 3, 2, as this one comes down, ball into the middle. Aura with it off the top of a car. This one is kept up by Ryan. They still have a chance. It's up into the corner. Covey gonna try to put it on, doesn't even touch it. It drops, and the Dino Electronic take game on.
An Electronic athletic organization with a 1-game win there, and I mentioned how for Ignition it's going to be a tough battle for them. They're going to be playing a lot of defense. They usually play a lot of defense anyways. They're quite a defensive side, but against Dino Electronic, that's one place you really don't want to find yourself. They are going to score if you're stuck back. And right now, again, you talk about tongue twisting names in Cody and Covey. I actually want to add this, just a little kind of offhand tangent. It's not as bad as Ignition in Skyward Series. They have 2 guys named Cody on that team, so It's not as bad as it's not as bad as that. But yes, you're not wrong about it. But I think Kobe right now really standing out. Cody on the other side, not so much. A really weak
Yeah.
game for Cody. He didn't get involved in it much, and he's their general defensive rock. He's the one that really plays that midfield. He needs to play that way, and that's where he's most successful when he's not talked about. But in this game, he was not talked about because he wasn't there on the field. And on the other side, Kobe, 2 goals, both the ones for his side, and you're seeing a real big difference between these two players here.
Yeah. And just looking at some of these numbers that I mean, ball possession, boost consumption, and field domination, just firm control from Dino Electronic Organization, doing a great job. It really just shows how good they are at playing that possession game, at just dominating ownership of the ball, just trying to keep pressure in the half and create plays that way. And it really shows itself in how they're able to control. I mean, I look at the boost, and I mean, it's 700-800 difference. Like, I mean, that's 7-8 boost steals of the forward 100 boosts. That's a fantastic shot out of Ryan to start, and that's the kind of opening Team Ignition will want.
I didn't know if it was Ryan who shot this or if it was Aura, but I think it was both, actually. Yeah, both of them shot that into the blue net. An unfortunate start for Dino Electronic, but Team Ignition will definitely take it, especially with how that last game went for them. Every goal is going to matter, especially since I know they can hold that defense, but then the real thing is going to be, Cody, is he going to be able to hold it down? Because for this team to be successful, their offense isn't going to be the question. Their offense definitely can do it. Their defense, though, that's where things get really tough for most teams against Dino Electronic. Athletic Organization, and yes, that is a tough name to say, as now an infield pass, a tough play to stop. It's bingo again. It's a 2-0 lead, and Team Ignition off to a great start with Ryan assisting both plays.
Just great job at the start of this. This is how you need to come out in game 2. Struggling to score in game 1, just finding ways to put the ball in the net. Sure, the first one may have been gifted to you just the slightest bit, but that one was well earned. It's what I want to see out of them. Shows that they can score, and they can score multiple times. I thought they had that for a second. I thought they somehow had that saved, but they do not. And that was from air dribble from Aura. Spoody with the hit in and sending it back off of Aura into the back of the net.
Yeah, Aura's considering his job as a double agent here, as he almost saves his own team from scoring.
Yeah.
He's doing it for. He was the one who helped Ignition score that first goal, and he's almost prevented his team from scoring there first. It's so I know I talked with Aura before the start of this series, kind of a little earlier today, before the series, and he mentioned how he wasn't all that confident as he come in this series because he had been off of Rocket League for a little while, and well, maybe bad timing to talk about that when he's whiffed that kind of a chance, but. Yeah, you said he wasn't super confident about it. That was, a real statement there from Aura to, talk about how rusty he was, but he hasn't looked all that often, to be fair. Neither is Spoody. With a shot like that right from the corner, Dino Electronic are right back in it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic corner read. You got to be able to have those, and at this level it's expected, and to be able to convert that into a goal is even better just like that. We're back to level play, and Team Ignition gonna have to find a way to get a third, maybe even a fourth. It seems like 2-goal leads may not be enough. The defense is going to have to come in clutch, as Covey able to walk around the one right there, but Ryan up playing this to the corner, to safety, as Aura has this one high on the wall, but it is not. Covey sending this one high, is up for this, setting this one over, and that one almost finds its way in.
My goodness, I mean, I've seen Covey hit some pretty insane stuff, but not that before. This Dino Electronic team getting very confident now, and for good reason. Look at how close they're getting to this net with just 1 or 2 chances. Team Ignition practically having to wait and let them walk in, as these shots barely missing the net. Cody now looking for the clear. Covey stops in the midfield, follow-up chance. Where is it? Bingo! Will clear it to the corner. Or up next, Dino Electronic looking at an infield pass to Spoody. That one off the corner. Nobody jumping early enough. Spoody, double in. Spoody under the bar, and Dino Electronic keep themselves 1 step ahead.
Unbelievable play from Spoody here, getting that touch over the defender, off the backboard, dropping it into the back of the net. That's just a fantastic display of personal mechanics to lead to a goal. And man, Dino Electronic have come roaring back, as Brian, that one's tough, but he's got to have that. He's got to have that free shot. I know it's not so easy, but Aura gonna have another one here, and oh man, this one it looked so good a minute and a half ago for Team Ignition, and it is it's all Dino Electronic now.
And I told you, every place is getting assisted here from this side. They are finding each other. That's what's so scary. It's not just them solo playing. They have mechanics, but that's not what really beats teams for them. It's teamwork. It's finding each other in space, and it's been that kind of the story of this whole season so far for them. The reason why they are beating Ignition so well, because for Ignition, they just don't have that same level of teamwork as Dino Electronic do. And you're definitely seeing the difference here as Kofi looking for a double tap. That one. Man, he's already going for some pretty insane stuff. Spooty trying one himself. That one. Drop down. Going. And it will find its way in. Dino Electronic cannot miss the net.
They're in free play right now. He's in free play hitting these shots. They're feeling it so hard right now. The things that they're going for, the confidence is off the charts, and they're hitting it. Like that's the kicker on it too, is that these aren't just some confident plays to be confident. They're ones to score, as the demo play coming through. Spooty getting this one off of the demo from Aura. It's just complete domination now. It is all Dino Electronic.
And I'm just gonna say this. This has been them all season long.
Yeah.
When they start getting things going, you won't stop this team. You need to stop them early, and Team Ignition failed to do that now, and now they have to deal with the wrath of this Dino Electronic side. I know the name and the logo might look silly, but this team is no joke. A 6-2 lead here in this game against the second best team in their group, a team that has only lost once so far this season.
Yeah, and this is a scary team to think that they haven't lost. As Aura gonna put in the 7th of the game, and there's still so much time left. As this one really feels like it has gotten out of hand for Team Ignition. And man, to think just 3 short minutes ago, Team Ignition was winning this game, and now they're down by 5. And there's still a minute and a half to go. What do you change? Like, what went so wrong in this game? Like, game 1 felt real close. This one has been nowhere near. What has changed?
What has changed is Dino Electronic are getting more used to this. They're recognizing Team Ignition have a playstyle that they work really well against. This Ignition side, again, this is a defensive team in Team Ignition. They play out far back a lot, and Dino Electronic, that's the kind of playstyle they work the best against, because they exploit that so well with their passing abilities and their quick, explosive midfield. You can't beat this team by sitting back and letting them have possession, and that's why they're beating Ignition so badly right now. And a lot of it, again, coming off of that pace, coming off their speed, is Team Ignition won't get that chance there either. Spooty will keep it away, and again, so far for Dino Electronic, they're going to be happy. Team Ignition, though, for them, I would not be surprised if they take this whole minute in between Game 2 and Game 3 to talk things over.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine that you do is, Spooty looking for the 8th, looking for that Barcelona, can't find it. This one off into the other corner, Kofi, soft touching it away. We come down to the final 10 seconds, and this is going to be Dino Electronic will be taking a 2-0 lead in this series, putting Ignition, on that last game. They can't secure the top of the group. With this loss, as you said, even if it goes to 5, that even with a loss, Dino Electronic still takes top of the group, so that's out of the question. But you can still pull out a series win. But that's a very long road back.
It is, and for Ignition,
very, very long road back.
And for Ignition, knowing this team, they probably recognize it. But just look at the shots. It's 12 shots to 4. They are tripling the shots of Team Ignition. That's how bad this is right now for this Ignition side. I've seen this team a lot. Again, Cody's been on my stream a ton. He's been on Ignition almost every single time. I can tell you, he doesn't lose this badly very. This is a rarity for Team Ignition, especially for Cody, who's been on the stream well over probably 10 times now. He's been on the stream a ton, so... And to see them lose this badly to a team, it's a rarity. They do get outplayed, but never by that many goals. And Dino Electronic, I feel like they're only getting things started. They could do a lot more damage against the Ignition side, and a lot of it has to do with just the fact that these playstyles are that imbalanced. That Dino Electronic have a playstyle that works so well against Team Ignition.
Yeah, it felt like it was I really did still feel like Dino Electronic was warming up, but I also see that there was a very quick ready up. Covey, he's going to have this one, and he does. 23 seconds in, he is feeling it. You cannot give him any room. Spoody giving him the ball and plenty of room. Free net, free backboard, free goal for him. And Dino they're just picking up right where they left off. And it does make you wonder. You wondered if they were going to take some time in between games, and they didn't, as Covey doesn't have the reset, but does stay behind, does get a bump. They can't find anything else. Spoody pops, chases this for himself, has it over, can't get the drop. No, he can't. Only Ryan has that touches. This one is sent forward. Covey popping it up, but is hit by his teammate. Trying to get back forward with the ball, forces the play into the middle, double commit, but it works out okay as this ball awkwardly over the top of this orange goal. As Covey gonna keep this in. Spoody sending it towards goal. Cody getting a save, and it's the dominance is back. It really feels just like last game, is getting this place, although that's a fantastic play from Ryan, getting the flip reset into the wave dash recovery, getting the catch and the flick. Fantastic play.
Yeah, I think that goal, we should replay that goal again. That's how good that play was. That was. I told you, Ryan's insane. This guy can do some pretty incredible stuff, and goals like that might be confidence boosters for Ignition. Last game was horrible for them, but again, this is a clean slate game, and Ryan trying his hardest, even though this team had a rough go at it. He's trying his hardest. He's really trying to get this team's confidence back, because it won't be him who's going to win the series for Ignition, but it's him who can definitely lead them on that path, and as long as they can find more success, maybe they can get it, but I'm talking too soon. Spoody's going to have that one, and that's why you don't hype teams, especially in matches where they just can't get offense.
Ignition, please, guys, put a hand up. Somebody, you can't give them this backboard for free. They've shown you it's going to end poorly, and it's twice. We've given them the backboard twice, and they've gotten scored on twice. It's their. I don't know if it's a boost problem, if it's a positioning problem for them at this point. As this one almost finds its way in, and it's the backboard again.
Yeah, that backboard is becoming a real issue, and that's one of the places that Cody has a weakness in. He is not the highest ranked player in this league. He's actually, he's I believe peak GC1, GC2, so he's actually not a super high ranked player in a league, and especially against higher level teams who will test that backboard. He has shown issues to struggle reading that before. It's one of the things about Cody that does, make him a defender that can be beaten pretty consistently if you find what works. And but Dino Electronic, I don't know if this is intentional from them because I've seen them hit some pretty insane double taps in the past, but I think they're realizing this very quickly that backboard is an issue for Ignition in general, and, well, they're going to continue to exploit it as Ignition. Right now, I think they're just trying to find some sort of a foothold because they haven't found anything as that one going to the net, looking for 4, bouncing in front, and somehow it stayed out. I can't believe that happened. It's a bump attempt. Code will save it. And Dino Electronic, at this point for them, they're just looking to make sure things kind of get back under control and they can get back onto offense, back to their usual plan, which is scoring as many goals as they want to.
Yeah, that one was a little nerve-wracking. That was great save coming out from Covey, finally seeing some pressure out of this Ignition squad, but this one going the other way. Spoody has the touch, but Ryan getting behind this one. Another great 50. This one out in the middle, trying to scoop this one. Was looking like he was hoping that there was going to be a 50 he could take, and there wasn't. And this one, a whiff out in front, and Ryan over the top can't find the goal as Aura going up with not a whole lot. Can't come down with it, but does come down with a couple bumps as Covey popping this one up. 2 minutes remaining and still needing to find 2 goals. Our Team Ignition.
Bingo, maybe a chance in field, but Cody will be saved away, and so far for Ignition, it just feels like every chance is futile. Every chance is getting stopped so easily here by Dino Electronic, and it's not because it is easy, it's because Dino Electronic are playing that fast, and we mentioned the pace, and I mentioned so that Ignition is just not going to win against most teams. They're not winning it here, and you're seeing that become a real issue now, because not only are Dino Electronic playing with that pace, they're playing with that pace, and they're finding each other. What a dunk! That's going to net, and Cody's found an opening! Team Ignition not out of game 3.
No, and this is what they did so well in game 1, which is it's been another game that's really has felt like it's been dominated by Ignition, because it has been dominated by Ignition. There's no denying that fact. But unlike game 2, or sorry, it has been dominated by Dino, excuse me, but unlike game 2, Ignition has kept themselves in it. They're not down by 5. They just need to find one, and could have been there. Not able to get there quick enough. But Brian has this one in off the backboard. Could have this one, but it is cleared off again. Sent down. Ryan turning off of this one, choosing to concede a little bit of space. Has this touch, but Spooty is up, sending this to the backboard. Has something to follow this, but there we go. Cody up on the backboard, knocking this one away. Not giving that away for free anymore is Team Ignition, and it looks a little better that way. It looks like that. It looks like Dino's struggling a little bit more, trying to find a way to get some offense going. They were just so reliant on that backboard for the first couple minutes of this game, as backboard coming in crucial right there, but nothing doing, as Spooty sending a fantastic pass over, but no finishing shot.
Yeah, for Dino Electronic, they'd love to have one more goal, but there's less than 30 seconds to go, and if they overcommit, there should be a chance that Ignition will not be missing. But here's a chance. Aura to the back wall. Nobody covering over Ignition. Spooty. Shot. Scores. Team Ignition sent everybody up, but that was the wrong time to do so. And Dino Electronic Insurance with 17 seconds left.
What a clip of a pass. That's such a great pass off of the bottom of Aura's car, and Spooty also up, able to get the finish, and Ignition, no one on the backboard on that play, and it really has felt all 4 goals have been because there has been nobody on the backboard to make the play needed when it was needed, and it looks like that one's going to be the death of them there, as this one will time out, as we're not going to have another one for the road, and Dino Electronic is going to take this series in a sweep. And Sporty, I gotta say, you were right. This Dino team is fun to watch. They are electric, and especially when they get some confidence and can get the ball up in the air and get some boost behind them, they are fun to watch.
This is one of those teams that I expect to make a very deep run in that playoff circuit. They've looked as such, they've played as such. Now they're winning as such. A perfect regular season so far. These guys have not lost, and unfortunately for Team Ignition, means that they're only going to be tough for them. They're not going to be as they did last season. Actually, they had an undefeated record. This season, not so much. Things get a lot tougher, but they will hold on to that number 2 seed. There's no chance for them to lose it at this point in their season. I'm sure that they'll be feeling a little bit embarrassed, especially with that loss having been so decidedly and so decided. You really never could vote against Dino Electronic with how they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't complain with that if that's what you're going to bring into playoffs. Boy, that's frightening. I wouldn't want to be the team that has to face them. Whether they have a bye or not, that's going to be a scary team in every round. And if there is a team that manages to knock them into the lower bracket, I mean, that's still only a half-dead team that is unbelievably frightening. It feels like it's going to take something special to have to knock off that team.
We actually have an interview here. We'll, again, be getting, I believe it's going to be Aura in. Yeah, Aura likes to join us for these things, so we'll get Aura in and chat with him for a little bit. Hello, Aura. Welcome in. A perfect season now confirmed for Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. You guys took on Team Ignition, and you dominated. A clean 3-0 sweep. You guys never looked like losing. Is there anything you want to tell me about that series, about how you guys feel now that you make the season over and you're going to come out of it with one of the best performances you've had all season?
We knew going into this game that it was must win, and I'm very happy with how me and the guys performed. But honestly, Sifri carried us with the coaching, so.
What made game 2 so different? You guys dominated in every game, but for the most part, 1 and 3 were pretty close. Like, what was so different in game 2? Because I mean, I saw in game 3 they handed you guys the backboard, and you guys took that, said thank you, and didn't have a second thought about it. But like, what made you run away with game 2?
Their defense really just broke down that game. The backboard was open basically every time Spooty went for a double tap, so we just kept kind of feeding it to see if we were we could beat them, and it worked out like 4 or 5 times. So we just kept kind of doing it.
Be the hot hand, and I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, Speedy's the double tap demon of the team. I don't know how he hits this so consistently.
Yeah, but he finds a way, and for you guys, you continue to find a way. Your first season here this season, and sorry, your first season this season. That doesn't sound right. Your first time in the Blackline Championship Series. Your first season in this league. And you guys are automatically one of the scariest teams here. Is there, you know, what do you want to say about just kind of your season having been as strong as it is?
We started out not knowing what we were going into. With the league, we kind of just we signed up for fun, and I'm glad we got to get the results that we did. Um, Overall, it was just good competition every week. Even though some of the series were 3-0, they still were against good teams. Who obviously you can't not respect any team that you go into a series with. So we just prepped each week and we came out on top. So glad with the results and everything.
And I mean, it was just a fantastic series, you guys. Looking forward to playoffs. How you feeling about this? Looking at that massive double elimination bracket, because I mean, I looked at that and man, that's daunting.
Of other leagues we've played in that are only single elim, I think we've played in a lot tighter or like more what's it called, dire spots in playoffs. So I think knowing it's double elim and we're not instantly out if we lose is probably gonna help us a little bit with not having as much stress each series in case we lose, but you never know, obviously, because there's a lot of other 7-0 teams we have to worry about. So
Of course, and
Gotcha.
again, before we do that, again, thank you for the follows. I know we had some people following it through the stream, Fire First Gaming, as well as I'm Chug. Thank you for the follow, guys. Again, you got to see that series. Hopefully, it was a good one. Again, for you here, or I'd love to keep you around. I like chatting with you after every single series because you win after every single series. But so far, you've done that. We'll see if that continues. Now, before we let you off, I have one last thing I want to ask you, and it's seeing all these teams that have made it through this bracket already. There's so many teams that have already in the bracket to that final bracket before this week has started. I mean, you take a look at it. There's like some really scary teams: Adrenaline Rush, Adrenaline White. With Wet Jets is in. Team Silence is a really solid team this season. Team Ignition still a scary team, even though you swept them. Slav Squad Nation's in here as well. New Age Demon Hound is a very strong team. Champs is in here. There's some really good teams that are gonna make the playoffs. And for you, are there any specific teams that you want to talk about, that you want to call out, that you want to play against? Because there are some teams in here that I think you'd love to play against. Some really high level competition.
if I'm being 100% honest, I know zero of the other teams in this league.
Oh, okay.
But the Adrenaline teams both look good, so I feel like I would want to play them. They were like almost perfect with their games, if I'm remembering correctly.
They're both currently undefeated. Obviously, that won't be.
Yeah.
They are playing each other, but yeah, you want to play those Adrenaline teams again. So maybe we'll get to play one of them. But they usually have a couple teams that make it to the final bracket. So again, congrats on your win, though. A real sweep for Team Ignition. You guys came in and dominated, and then left, and you guys, honestly, that's been kind of the story of your season so far. It's not going to be that way in the playoffs because it's going to be a lot tougher. But for you guys, you look like one of the scariest teams going to the playoffs. I would even argue maybe even the scariest team going to the playoffs. But of course, before you leave us here, or is there any last things you want to say? Any shoutouts? Any final statements?
Shout out to the goat Sifri. He's the best coach around and super sub if we ever need him.
Of course, and Mia, is there any last things that you want to say? Well,
No, I have nothing to say besides, I mean, thank you for having me on again as a co-caster, and I mean, um, thank you for putting on a great series. That was a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
you so much for joining us here, or congratulations again on another win. I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot, but I know for a fact you guys are going to continue to book me for like playoff matches. We'll see if how you guys do there. It's still a long road. The playoff bracket is very long. It's almost, I think, as long as like the regular season is itself. So you guys got a long road. You got to be able to play consistently, but we know that should be something you guys will be good at. But for now, again, thanks so much for joining. A great rest of your nights, and hopefully we'll see you again soon in the playoffs.
Have a go on, Sporty. You're the goat for casting.
And that was Aura there of Dino Electronic Athletic Organization, and Mia, thanks as well for joining on in. This was a good match, even though it was a field sweep. It was the big match of the night. I've seen Dino Electronic continue to prove that really there's nobody that can stand up to them.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like that, but it's you always hope that you can find a good, close, solid series. But I think it really says a lot about Dino Electronic to be able to be that much better and that much more decisive in a series against the second seeded team in their group. Just shows you how scary they are and how every other team's going to be needing to watch this series and be aware of what they can bring.
Yeah, definitely is. Again, thank you as well, still for joining me. Mia, as man, it's always nice to have old friends come back to the stream after such a long time. Again, so it's been an amazing week. I will definitely see if I can get you on for more matches in the future. But for
Yes,
now,
of course.
obviously, to you and to everybody else watching, we still got one more match coming up. As you guys can see, Team Jumba taking on the Midnite Vipers. That'll be part of the Amateur Gaming League. Their final week of the regular season is also this week. We'll be seeing that match after this quick break. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sportia stream. One more series tonight, one more match, part of the Amateur Gaming League, the final week of the regular season for this league, as well as a couple others. We've already seen Blackline with their final week of the regular season tonight, now Amateur with theirs. Joining me is Ruby. It's been almost a year since you've last been on this stream, Ruby, but it's nice to have you back. How are you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling great. I'm excited for some Rocket League, man. I'm getting back into casting. It's gonna be a fun way to end the night.
Of course, but this night has actually already been pretty interesting so far. Let's take a look at our schedule. We start off with New Age Dragons beating Lindenwood University White 3-1 to guarantee their spot in the playoffs. Then Cronos sweeping Underworld Wolves Black to keep their undefeated season. And now we just had Dino Electronic Athletic Organization a field sweep over Team Ignition there to guarantee that #1 spot in that perfect season. Now we go to, again, two teams at the end of their season. Team Jumba, Midnite Vipers, and we've already actually seen these teams before. Team Jumba, we saw last season where they ended their season in that round of 16. For Midnite Vipers, we last saw them a couple weeks ago where they lost to Valhalla Nova. But tonight, at the end of the regular season, both these teams, they're 10th and 11th seed. The playoffs should be secured for them, but a loss, and a bad loss, really more specifically, could potentially knock them out of contention.
Yeah, I mean, really, this match for the most part is going to be for seeding. You know, maybe the team that loses here tonight might end up missing the playoffs. Unfortunately, maybe end up being like the 17th or 18th seed. But I mean, no matter what, both these teams are going to try and win this one for the better seed and try and move up to 4-2 in the Swiss round of AGL.
Yeah, and as you said again, those playoff spots should be secured for these teams by now. But again, for these sides who again have been on the stream before, AGL not a common league to be on the stream, but these guys love to be here, and nice to see them again, especially in a 3v matchup. And these teams haven't changed all that much. Team Jumba, they've only changed one person, Dino. They've added him on. Midnight Vipers, the only change this season is actually they had two changes, Devonic and Cineity being added in. So these teams haven't changed all too much from what their usual rosters have been. So we'll see if maybe those playstyles have changed though, because both these teams, after being gone for such a long time, I mean, Team Jumba, the last time they were on the stream was 129 days ago. So for them, there must have been some changes between back then and now. As these guys still, coming in with a very similar roster, but they're still, a strong team, still looking to make the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, 3-2, you might look at it and think, hey, well, they're not having the greatest record, but 3-2 isn't bad, especially in C3 to GC1 leagues such as AGL. A lot of good teams compete in AGL. It's a very stacked league from what I hear. So I mean, neither of these teams, no matter the result of the match tonight, whether they end up 3-3 or 4-2, should really be ashamed or look down on themselves for how they ended their season. As again, most of the playoff seeds should be locked for these two teams at least.
You'd expect that, but again, there's a chance that they could potentially lose it. There are still a ton of other teams that are 2-3 that are going to win this week, that are probably going to move up a couple spots. So for these sides, those playoff spots, while they are pretty strong, very likely they're going to make it. Not completely locked in. A win here will guarantee a spot though. And for both these sides, that's what they're kind of playing for. And they weren't playing for anything else. It's seeding, but it's also the fact that playoffs aren't completely guaranteed.
Yeah, and another thing I would like to mention, this is a little bit off topic from the match. You said the Ignition got swept away too quickly for me, man. That one hurt. That one hurt.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your team. I didn't want you to mention it, but they got swept. It was not good. It was not a close series, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The only good thing about it is it's the #1 seed that beat you guys. So that beats
exactly.
The team, so
that one hurt me, man. Watching that one, Cody, my teammate in Skyward. I heard that he's actually battling COVID right now. So I'm not gonna make excuses for him, but he definitely wasn't on his A game. So it's
right. Dang.
kind of. He knows it's all brotherly love. It's all right. Battling COVID and all that stuff, and I'll be real that the other team, they had such a long name, I can't remember it.
Electronic Athletic Organization.
They played very well. Yeah. I watched most of that series, and then when they went down 2-0 and then they scored the 4-2 in game 3, I may have clicked off the stream, but yeah, I mean, I'm proud of my boys no matter what. But back to the AGL series that we're actually casting. I mean, I'm kind of excited to get in here tonight. It's gonna be a close series.
That dog's excited
you know.
too.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. He's man, I don't know what to do with this guy. He's his bark echoes through the house no matter what. So it's really hard to manage that. But yeah, excited overall. It's gonna be a fun series. Gonna be pretty close. You know, both teams 3-2. So
That's kind of the idea with this format. You know, it will be close. That it will be that tough to play against. But again, it's going to be a big series for these teams. Again, reminder: playoffs aren't fully secured for either of these sides. So they're playing for that. They're playing for the fact that the playoffs aren't fully secured. That they aren't fully there. But there'll also be that last match tonight. Also might be trying to battle the sleepiness because it is pretty late for these guys. It's 10 p.m. Eastern time, so it's not an early match. It's one of those later matches, and for these guys, I'm sure they've been trying to practice a lot, or at least getting themselves ready a lot, because we've seen, again, I've seen these players before. They all can play very well, but this time of night it's a bit late. It's a bit late, I think, for a lot of these teams, and I know for them at least that it might be the last thing they do before they go to sleep. So you want to end off on a good note.
yeah, ending off on a good note, especially late in the night, knowing that you and your team can compete. Being tired and being, I would say, low on stamina. Well, that's the same thing as tired, but low on stamina from whether it's your regular everyday life or a long Rocket League tournament like RLCS quals would be, or like the Proving Grounds that we just casted would be a longer day of Rocket League. This is kind of going to be a test from both Team Jumba and Midnite Vipers to kind of see where they're at with stamina within their team. That's the way I see it, though. Maybe you may see it differently.
Right now, what I'm seeing one follow from Iluk. Thank you for the follow, Iluk. Welcome to Spotty Stream, as well as a raid coming in from Rizzy, your old teammate, coming in.
Oh.
Rizzy said hello. Said hello. I think he knows that you're here. So hello, Rizzy.
Yeah.
Welcome in. I'm sure you're streaming Rocket League. But tell me, how was your stream, my friend? Hopefully it was going well. You're coming in just in time to get to witness Team Jumba versus Midnite Vipers, our best of 5 series, our final match of the night. So I wouldn't click off from this series. This is a good matchup, 3-2 teams playing against each other. As again, I'm excited for this. And as you said, I'm excited. You're excited. That dog in your background was very excited.
Yeah, man. Sorry about the background noise.
No, I don't care. I like it. You got an excited dog. I have cats. They don't get excited for anything anymore.
I want a cat so bad. I want a cat so bad. I'll be real, but my dogs would. I mean, once the cat's an adult, it may be fine, but early on, maybe might have some issues. So that's the only thing really holding me back. That is completely off topic. My apologies, Sporty. Go ahead with what you were gonna say.
I mean, I was gonna just talk about how this is a series again, as you said, should be close. We'll see if it ends out that way. But so much pressure on these teams with a good amount, on the line. Reminder: playoffs not fully secured for either side. Win here will guarantee a spot. Loss, it may not. And even if they do guarantee a spot, it's gonna be such a bad seed. They're going to have difficulties getting past that first round for a 4-2 side. Probably playing up against another 4-2 side, maybe a 5-1 side. A much better matchup, one that these teams could definitely win. So this match, does have a lot on it, even if, it's the end of the season and both these teams are having pretty successful runs so far.
Yeah, and, with you mentioning the terrible seeding, I think was your quote. Oh, there he goes again. Anyways, with you mentioning the seeding, I mean, this almost feels like a must-win game in the sense of, if you want to do good and make it far into these playoffs, you're going to want to win this one in order to get a good seed so that you can, kind of have an easier path, if you will, to, top 8, top 4, stuff like that. And the winner, no, sorry, not the winner, the loser would obviously take on probably a 1, 2, 3, even 4 seed from obviously the top of the league. That's I don't know what I'm doing, man. It's been a long day. It's been a really long day.
We can talk about those top teams as well. We've got Team Evo, Misfits, Phoenix United, Blast, Black Sail Slavs, CG Aces. I know the Aces and I know Black Sail Slavs. Those are very solid teams. So I personally would not recommend going up against either of them. These teams would agree on that. So avoiding any of those top teams, probably something that's high on their priorities.
Yeah, and I mean, as you're saying, ZG Aces, they're 5-0 right now. And I mean, it looks like 4 of those 5 have been sweeps, and the only one that wasn't was week 1, and it was a 3-1 anyways. So I mean, you do not want to put yourself in a situation where you can face a team like that who has proven themselves, especially again in these high-level C3 GC1 type of lobbies.
We're getting a message from Nox in chat. Nox, by the way, if you're gonna message me on Discord. I spelled that faster, but I do see you in chat. Telling us the other team's just a little late. That's fine. It's our last match of the night, so we can delay a little bit for you guys here, as it just gives me and Ruby more time to chat about off-topic things.
Oh yeah,
yes.
cats and barking dogs and whatnot.
As yeah, no problem, Nox. Don't worry about it, my friend. As again, just getting kind of ready for what will be a big series, and I mean for you, Ruby, again, it's got to be a nice feeling, kind of. For you, at least, it's gonna be a nice feeling because it isn't actually late for you. You're Western, so it's 7. For you,
I'm
so.
actually Central now.
You're Central now? You moved?
Yeah, I moved.
Oh, so it's only
to
9.
Texas
Okay.
in about July. So yeah,
It's 9 now.
it's a little late, but
It is a little bit on the late side, but 9's a lot more common for teams to book. Although again, Team Jumba, Midnite Vipers, again, we've seen these teams before. I don't know how similar they're gonna play to their past, but I do think it's going to be the kind of the key to success, and I think we could talk about that a little bit. Is what will succeed at this level. At this level, players are going to start to get pretty good. You are at this level as well, Ruby. You're around that FVGC 1 level. You know, key success. I really see this being a match that's going to determine on who has that chemistry, who can pass. Because these guys have been teams for a while, so that chemistry is going to be what's tested.
yeah, I mean, chemistry is always a huge part of team building and the way that a team's going to fit. You know, you often see teams that team for longer and longer are the better ones because they have built up that chem with each other and they know how they play. So it's all based on if you click immediately, and then if you do, then carrying that out and kind of seeing the vision, I guess.
Again, I'd love to see that. We'll see if maybe these teams can do just that. Reminder: the winner of this will almost certainly guarantee a playoff spot. The loser will have to have a little bit of chance on their side. But we go into the final week of the Amateur Gaming League season. Team Jumba on the blue, Midnite Vipers on the orange. A best-of-5 series. 2 incredible teams, 2 incredible seasons, 1 incredible match. Let's get right into it here.
As Randall, I'm not going to know how to pronounce that name. You might have to help me with that one. Randall, the opponent for the orange side now, going to try and see what he can do. He's going to have to, first off, make a good save, and he makes it pretty quickly on that rotation back. And immediately we see a shot come out from Midnite Vipers. And is that going to be a tone setter for this series? Because if so, Team Jumba is going to be in trouble if they're going to have opportunities like that all night. Yeah,
for Midnite Vipers, and I'm assuming the player you're having issues with is Sineady there in the mid. He also goes by Sin. You're going to see him really involved in that offense. He was a player who, was dominated the AGL2 circuit last season, and now in this season for 3, he's obviously on Midnite Vipers. Not having the same kind of success, but he's still just as aggressive, but it won't be him to score. It's going to be Nox who does it. Noxy Poo puts in the back of the net, and Midnite Vipers with a 1-goal lead, as so far that offense from Midnite Vipers, it's gotten better since last season's, and you're seeing it really find some early success here.
And one thing I do want to point out is, yes, very well-placed shot from Nox there, but there was a double commit from Team Jumba in their corner. So whether or not they're going to figure that out is going to be a huge momentum swing down the road, as Randall not able to bury that one. But if Team Jumba can figure that out, they'll be all right. But they can't give those opportunities to Midnite Vipers, especially this early in the series, as that one's going to be off the backboard, but nothing to come of it yet.
Yeah, and again, it's Sineady who's on the ends of so many of these plays. You're going to see him shoot a lot. And for Team Jumba, there's no real way you can stop him unless you really hold that midfield. And I just don't see a team like Team Jumba doing that very easily. But the way to stop him is you gotta just be able to stop his shots literally at face value here. But easier said than done, as now Nox looking for a chance downfield. That one will be cleared by Randall. Midnite Vipers, you need to really threaten that blue net, and they're not stopping that anytime soon here. Team Jumba playing more defensively, and it's not by choice.
Yeah, and that's just how it's going to go sometimes. Sometimes, from my personal experience in the competitive Rocket League scene, it's just not going to go your way, but you have to find a way to adjust. You have to find a way to figure something out both on offense or defense, or you're just going to get thoroughly dominated. A lot of the time, that's what happens when, you know, you get 3-0 swept and it wasn't even really close, is that you just got outplayed and it wasn't your night.
On the other side for Team Jumba, a great shot from Randall, and nobody's back. The Midnight Vipers caught napping, and Team Jumba from the defense to the offense, coast to coast, a tie game.
I don't know what happened. It was so good for Midnight Vipers in the Team Jumba half, and just a great clear from Randall, and there was absolutely nobody from Midnight Vipers around to try and save that one, as that one going to be saved by Randall as I'm talking about the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Midnight Vipers, they have to figure that one out too. There's going to be a lot of question marks early in this series at just around halftime of game 1 on both sides of the field. Team Jumba questioning whether they can handle the pressure from Midnight Vipers, and Midnight Vipers now wondering, you know, if those big like holes in the defense are going to be a common mistake.
Well, you talk about that, but we'll also talk about the fact that Corporal Monkey Shines came with the raid. Thank you for the raid, Corporal Monkey Shines. Hopefully you're having a great night. Hopefully you're doing well. I know you were streaming some Rocket League action, so again, hopefully you had fun there. As right now we got Team Jumba, Midnight Vipers right now. A tied game here in game number 1. I'm joined by Ruby on the stream as Team Jumba looking to try to take the lead here, but it's an 80. We're cleared out. Also a follow coming in from Galaxy. Thank you for the follow, Galaxy. Welcome to us for your stream. And again, this Midnight Viper side, you talk about it. The offense on them has been better, but that defense has had cracks, has had breakdowns, and Team Jumba can definitely take full advantage of them if they find the clear. But right now, Argentium can't do it there. Sinady blocks him. Randall, Sinady won't get it, but Devonic will be there. Keyfist down the field. Noxy trying to put it back, and he will get bumped, but he's still with the ball, but it will be Argentium to keep it away, and Team Jumba right now doing well to keep Midnight Vipers at arm's length.
Yeah, keeping him at arm's length, but this one eventually breaks into the midfield. Nox gonna take it away from Sinea to beat now. Nox trying to get a touch to the midfield. He does kind of skim that one, and I'm gonna say his name is Ayu.
It's Devonic, by the way.
Devon, okay.
His name's
okay,
spelled. His name is actually spelled. That's actually the O and I in his name. It's actually spelled upside down.
Oh my, okay, that makes more sense. All right, well, Devonic, I'm gonna have to remember that one. Tried to get something going as I was talking about him, but now Randall getting something going as Devonic. Got to make sure I get that one right. He's gonna get credit for this goal as he's going to have the go-ahead goal for Midnight Vipers. 45 seconds left, and that one gonna leave even more question marks on the side of Team Jumba.
Yeah, Argentium hasn't been all that, all that much of a player to really talk out about here as, again, he's really been quiet. I think that's a lot of things with Team Jumba, is that this is a team where no one player really steps up, and, sometimes that works really well. It means it's a team that's really even, that's really well balanced, but it also means that if no one steps up, no one's going to be able to stop Devonic. 2 goals for him. That wasn't what I meant to say, but it works now. Devonic has just been lights out at this point. Some great shooting opportunities, and again, for Team Jumba, we need to see someone step up, because right now, this team just doesn't have that edge. They don't have that player that's going to lead the charge.
And it's one thing I'd like to mention is it's really hard to step up when you have a Midnight Vipers demo chaser in your face. So it's, a fantastic play from Midnight Vipers, but you're absolutely right. Team Jumba has to find a leader, or, I wouldn't say a leader. That's a little disrespectful. They have to find someone who's going to step up and going to have that pop-off series, or else they're going to be in trouble early, as this one's only best of 5. This one going to give Midnight Vipers a third of what they need to win this series, and pretty convincingly, I'd say.
Sandy wants to end it with one more, but that will be stopped by Randall. Midnight Vipers, as I said, convincing. This was a great start for this side. They really did just kind of play well. They played their style, and their offense is just working. It's an offense that is finding success in Team Jumba. Their defensive style doesn't work, and again, as you said, and as I said, there isn't anybody who's leading, although Randall definitely trying his best to do that. 6 saves from Randall, even if this game from being a lot worse, because trust me, it should have been a lot worse.
Yeah, as you saw, like that Sineady, mechanics almost coming out at the end there to add a 4th on wasn't able to go in for him, unfortunately. But, it could have definitely been a lot worse. And, Randall, being that step-up player that we were talking about, has I mean, if you just look at the scoreboard, he's got 600 points compared to his two teammates being under 200, and Kefis not even having a shot registered. Again, no disrespect to Team Jumba, but a very slow start from Randall's teammates Kefis and Argentium. that's gonna be one to cast. I mean, Randall just has to keep his momentum carrying with him and hope that his teammates follow along.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where for Team Jumba, they again fortunately got that whole minute there because Midnight Vipers actually do have a disconnect issue. But yeah, for Team Jumba, their big issue is they need to find someone who can really, be a leader, be someone who can step up. They all need to step up in one way or another on offense, and right now, just didn't see it from them. We don't see that kind of step up that the Midnight Vipers had. I mean, every player on that Vipers had that time to step up, had that time to be that, star player. One of Team Jumba has to be able to do that for their own team.
Yeah, and I mean, Midnight Vipers, sorry for the blank there. Midnight Vipers is going to try and get something started off hot here as they're trying to carry their momentum from that game 1 into game 2, trying to put Team Jumba on 3 straight match points, which is definitely not a situation that Team Jumba wants to be in to end their season at least. They want to secure that higher seed that we were talking about in the pregame screen. But Midnight Vipers just trying to do everything they can, getting a lot of pressure on the Team Jumba backline right now as we're going to see them just continuously have offensive opportunities, and that one's going to be slotted into the top bins by Cineity. A fantastic shot in the first 39 seconds to start this one for Midnight Vipers.
Yeah, but that clear from Argentium, it could have been, and it really should have been a lot better than that. A weak touch from the back line, and it's a free gift. And for all players to give it to, you don't want to give it to Cineity. I mentioned his shooting is one to be scared of, and Midnight Vipers, again, he was a guy who was not on this team last season, so adding him in, they really utilized him well. And a team like Midnight Vipers, who've generally been a team that's been so very middling when it comes to their seasons, well, this season may not feel like a difference. With Cineity, it has felt like a team that's more offensively minded, and well, we can see a difference between that and Team Jumba, who just don't have the offense as of right now.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes in series, like I said, it comes with time, or maybe it's just not your day. But being down 1-0 that early, you got to question some things about your roster and how you want to play. It obviously right now isn't working for Team Jumba, as that one almost going to be slotted off of the 50-50 from Randall, but not able to go in for Team Jumba. But as I was saying, you have to question whether your playstyle is one worth keeping or one worth switching up. Is Randall gonna like that save? Kefis with a great follow-up, and this one's gonna be cleared to safety so far, but Cineity gonna keep it back in, and Randall gonna get it out to the midfield. That one's gonna be safely secured for Jumba, but not for too long. But as I was saying, you have to switch something up. You can't keep playing and being dominated by Midnight Vipers if you are Team Jumba.
Yeah, right now it's just all defense for Team Jumba, and well, that doesn't work for a reason. They don't have the offense. They don't have the ability to take the lead against Midnight Vipers, because their playstyle would work if they had the ability to take a lead. They just don't have it. They don't look like the team that wants to strike right now, and that's a problem, because the Midnight Vipers definitely do, as Noxypoo puts in his team second, some insurance halfway into the game, and Midnight Vipers, it just feels like they're cruising right now to their victory.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that is due to offensive pressure. You hear that term a lot in the recent years of competitive Rocket League, is offensive pressure. Getting those bumps, getting those boost steals, getting those constant shots on net so that the defense has to readjust is absolutely crucial. And without offensive pressure, an offense isn't really able to thrive. So maybe that's one of the issues for Team Jumba on both sides of the ball, not able to get offensive pressure and not able to handle offensive pressure.
As we keep going on, time running out for Jumba, but their chances, they might still get a couple more. Devonic clears it away. Midnight Vipers looking for something else, just another goal to make life even more difficult for Team Jumba. It's already difficult enough for them with so little shots. They had very few last game. It feels like they have less this game, and right now, Midnight Vipers looking to attack again. Cineity stopped by Argentium, and Team Jumba maybe a 3v1 chance, but oh dear, that is... I'd like to say that was a mistake, but that was just a bad play from the very beginning, and they won't get much of anything out of it here. Midnight Vipers didn't have to do anything to shut down Team Jumba, because Team Jumba shut down themselves, and the Midnight Vipers, they don't care. They're back on offense once again. They're back to looking to make this a 3-0 lead, something that Team Jumba will probably not be able to come back from.
Yeah, and I mean, with that most recent play in the Team Jumba half, we're seeing one trend from Team Jumba, and it's Randall being the defensive rock. And I mean, he's just going at it on defense. He's having a time, and he's just, I mean, if I were Randall, I'd just be praying that I get some help from my teammates soon here, both on offense and defense, because Randall's had some good looks on offense. They just haven't been lucky enough to see them go through, as that one's going to be quite high for Devonic. That offensive opportunity not going to go through, but now Argentium going to get it mid, going to get another touch on it. No, he's going to leave it for Keyfist, but this one's going to be cleared away to safety, and Cineity trying to get something going, trying to get out of their half, but it's going to be Noxypoo eventually getting it out of their half, and now there's going to be a Team Jumba counterattack.
Midnite Vipers waiting on the opportunities, waiting on the time, letting the clock tick down here. Triple match point potential if they can hold on to this 2-goal lead. Team Jumba need to find some opportunities. They've held the offense, but they won't get anything from it. Not even a shot. And this Midnite Vipers waiting again. Now a 3v1 chance for Randall. Has it, but he loses it just as fast. Devonic's challenge will keep the ball away and will secure game 2. Midnite Vipers, again, another strong performance, and right now it is just a playstyle difference here. Midnite Vipers doing the offense, Team Jumba are not, and as this time ticks down, it won't matter. Team Jumba, they won't be able to come back here. Midnite Vipers, 3 games here to take the series, although they may only need 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly heartbreaking. If you're a Team Jumba, now you have to get in that headspace of it's a new series. Ignore those first 2 games that just happened. We need to be a brand new team, or else this is going to be a 3-0 sweep. And in dominant fashion, that's not how you want to end your regular season, especially going into the playoffs and most likely playing a high seed if they even do make the playoffs. You know, it depends on who wins and who loses in this week 6. But Team Jumba just have to find absolutely anything to pivot on.
Yeah, and I think one of the things they're going to look at is that field domination. 64% to Midnite Vipers. That is a pretty high percentage. It's usually around 50 to 55%. That's a high percentage of field domination. Midnite Vipers are just running around Team Jumba. They're taking laps around this team, and Team Jumba haven't stopped them, haven't slowed them down. Midnite Vipers, what might be our 3rd sweep of the night. So this is our 4th series. It might be our 3rd one that ends in just 3 games, and Midnite Vipers might be the catalyst for it if they can win here. And for Team Jumba, it's going to take a lot of effort just to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to mention about that last game is that demolitions for both teams were dead even. So it's kind of weird to see that, knowing how Midnite Vipers kind of dominated the offensive side of the ball. Is they're going to continue that trend? Is Cineity going to slot this one into the bottom right? They've also been trending with the scoring early. So Cineity going to keep that one going and slot it into the bottom right. But as I was saying, demolitions going to be a huge part of this. But what's bigger than demolitions is capitalizing on them. And Team Jumba needs to find that X factor to where they can capitalize on those demolitions and those, almost wide open offensive opportunities.
It just feels like they're a bit lost right now and trying to find just a playstyle that works, something that kind of goes away. These are guys that have played together for a really long time, and yet that offensive striking capability just isn't there. Even that chance from Randall, he missed the net. For Team Jumba, again, it just feels like a team that's lost on offense. It just doesn't have the playstyle as Midnite Vipers. They most definitely do. Cineity almost with his second as this Vipers team. I mean, we've seen them so often, but this is really a team that has built themselves on offense. Even though this season hasn't been amazing, their offense definitely one that you should consider.
For sure. And I mean, Midnite Vipers, that's all they've really been showing is offense. They kept Team Jumba into a 2-0 shutout. Last game is they're still trying to break that streak of no goals in the past, I want to say 7.5 minutes, something like that. As Randall trying to break that streak now, going to slot it top right, and Argentium not able to find the angle on that one from the near post. That one's going to be a fake on his own teammate from Devonic. But Team Jumba starting to ramp up the pressure just a little bit in the Midnite Vipers half. The only question is whether they can, again, capitalize on it.
Yeah, can they kind of build on that pressure? Can they build on the play they're getting? Team Jumba is finding space. They're finding opportunities. This is a team that feels like reinvigorated. It has just new life built into them, but that life hasn't been able to translate into goals. And Midnite Vipers, now they've got a chance. Noxy Boo looking for two. That one in front. Still there. Devonic can't score. But the Midnite Vipers getting oh so close. And for Team Jumba, life getting oh so difficult unless they can be the ones to score next.
Yeah, and you just have to remember it's a 1-0 game. You're going to have plenty of opportunities as we've just approached halftime. You can't stress yourself out too much about a 1-0 game, or else you're going to miss those wide open opportunities, and it's just going to add to the pressure for Team Jumba. And Midnite Vipers, that's really what they're preying on, is that Team Jumba keep missing these opportunities and keep, wondering when's this next goal going to come, as it hasn't been. I believe now it has been about 8 minutes or so since they've last scored, and a drought like that, to end a series, it's not going to bode well.
Team Jumba needs to find something, and they scored early, but they haven't scored since. As Randall, what a pinch! That one actually was going to the net. 80. We credited with the save with that touch off the corner. Midnite Vipers, again, this is really the first time in the series they've actually been, relatively out-pressured by somebody else, and Team Jumba definitely being able to bring it, but still they can't bring the shots, they can't get the goals, as Devonic, Argentium, with the save, Sineady, back to his net, Keepus, stop for Devonic, just sitting in front of the net, and Team Jumba were none the wiser. The right place at the right time will give Midnite Vipers insurance.
And Keyfist, I mean, if I'm in his spot right now, I'm asking where he came from. I'll be honest. I mean, Devonic had no reason to be sitting there in front of the net, but he was that confident in himself and his abilities, and that's just really been the MO of this whole series, is confidence and executing based on that confidence for Midnite Vipers.
Team Jumba need a goal. Time is running thin. Sineady isn't giving the ball up, but Noxy will miss. Randall sent upfield. Argentium's waiting, but Devonic with another big block, and Team Jumba, no boost for Keyfist. Devonic to make it free! That one saved off the line, but Team Jumba running out of boost, running out of resources, and running out of opportunities. Can they get one? Randall, shot! Scores! Team Jumba, 1 goal away!
And finally, Team Jumba break the drought, and now they need to find another one that it almost took them 10 minutes to find one of. So they need to jump on this opportunity. They need to hit Midnite Vipers while they are down, while they're in their own heads about, oh, this one might get shaky. They need to capitalize now if they have any chance of winning this series.
Team Jumba putting the pressure on the Midnite Vipers. Our final match tonight. Can they extend this one more game? Here comes Keyfist, looking to make it happen. A bump on Devonic, a clear from Noxy Boo. Team Jumba, 30 seconds and counting. Devonic, stopped by Argentium. Jumba, pushing, looking for something, but they just can't find that opening. There, Sineady won't give the opportunity easily. Argentium clears that ball with a big dunk, and here comes Randall with a 50, but Devonic will win it. Time running low. 10 seconds left for Team Jumba. The series depends on it. The playoff life may as well depend on it too. As Randall, the dribble. Time running low. This one kept off the ground. Here comes Keyfist. Won't get the challenge. Devonic to clear. Argentium's trying to keep it alive. Team Jumba at 0 seconds. Can they do it here? But Noxy Boo won't let them. And that will end the series. A 3-0 sweep. The Midnite Vipers take down Team Jumba.
And Midnite Vipers, again, the whole aura around this series has been domination on offense, and they continued to do that down the stretch. They scored 2 goals straight, I believe it was, in game 2. They scored 2 in game 3, and I'm not exactly sure how many they scored in game 1, but I want to say it was over 2. So at least allowing 2 goals a game just wasn't the play for Team Jumba, and they got punished for it.
As again, what a series of 3-0 sweeper. Final match tonight. We had 3 sweeps tonight. This was a very quick night for matches, at least. But hey, it's one of those matches that you come through, you watch it, and Midnite Vipers took it here. This is a really good match, and it's not even just good for them in the playoffs and that they secure a good spot in the playoffs. It's also just good for their mentality. This is a confidence boosting match. They looked really good out there.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. because as we said, Midnight Viper is going to secure that higher seed in the AGL playoffs. But now they're going to go into those playoffs with a little bit of momentum. They're going to have a 3-0 sweep under their belt. They're going to have a little bit more of a confidence booster knowing, hey, we beat a team that was just about our skill level in terms of, I apologize for the blank here, in terms of record. So, dominating them like that kind of gives them the confidence booster of proving that they deserved that win and they deserve the higher seed in the playoffs.
We're going to get a little interview here with Noxyboo. We'll get him into the server, but while we're doing that, again, just to reflect on tonight's matches. It has been a long night here, Ruby. I know you only joined us for this last one, but if we take a look at our schedule, 4 matches tonight, and none of them went to Game 5. New Age Dragons 3-1 over Lindenwood University White. Kronos 3-0 over Underworld Wolves Black. Dino Electronic Athletic Organization a 3-0 over Team Ignition. And, of course, Midnight Vipers a 3-0 over Team Jumba. Some great matches tonight, and not so great if you're Ruby watching Ignition. But,
man, you got to keep bringing it up, bro.
Yeah, not great for you there. But, again, it's been some quick matches, though, and it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic way to end it off, especially if you're a Midnight Vipers fan. It was a really fun series, really honestly dominant series, and I love watching matches like that where it just looks like one team is unstoppable almost.
It's one of those matches where you come through, and it may not be the most memorable things, but it is ones that are going to be memorable for these players going into the playoffs, that they end off their season on such a big series. And speaking of those players, here they are. Noxyboo's in, Devonic is in. Congratulations on your... Welcome in, Noxyboo. It's nice to see you guys here again. You guys have been on the stream a good amount of times in the past, and today you get your 3-0 sweep win. Probably the best you guys have looked ever on the stream. So, I know, Noxyboo, especially at the end of your season, that must be a huge confidence booster going into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, it is. We knew that we had to win the game just to have a chance in the playoffs. We made some roster changes and was hoping it worked.
And one thing I'd like to mention, how did you guys feel on offense tonight? Because from the casting booth, certainly, me and Sporty were really impressed by how you guys handled the ball on offense, how you were able to get rid of those situations that may have been a little risky on your side of the half. So really, how are you and the guys feeling coming into this match tonight?
We feel pretty confident on offense. I mean, Dev here, he's really good at being third man and also setting up passes. So it helps us out a lot. Cynics, he's just a really good carry. So if we're not having the best game, and we know we can depend on him to get us going at least.
Of course, and also obviously joining us here as well is Devonic. Welcome back in, Devonic, as well.
Hello.
Being one of those recent additions, I believe you added this season, for this team. Coming in to help out Midnight Vipers, one of the issues this team had in the past, I remember, is that they just didn't have anything that really was threatening. They didn't feel like a threatening enough team. But coming in, you are part of that threat. You are part of that offense. How's it, what was it like kind of helping turn this team's offense around from being, from being a pretty middle tier team to now being one that actually has an offense that's definitely worth worrying about?
Honestly, I just feel a lot comfortable playing threes. I played with Cynics, who also played with us tonight. We did a twos league, and that was completely out of my element. So as soon as Knox reached out saying he would like to pick us up for the threes team, I was more than happy to do so. I feel a lot more comfortable there. Knowledge base is a lot better than situations. So being able to mix in Cynics' like mechanical and game sense with my rotations, with Knox's aggressiveness and passing abilities, we all kind of just mix very well together.
Yeah, and I mean that definitely showed tonight. But one thing I would like to ask you, Devonic, is Sporty here mentioned that you are a new addition to the roster, and going into this season, you said you were playing in a twos league with Sin. So like, how did that twos league really help with like building chemistry, and two, like, what exactly do you think specifically it helped you with, and how did it translate to the 3v3 mode?
So with Cynics and I, we have been playing together either against each other or with each other for, I'd say, at least the past 3-4 years now. So the chemistry-wise was already there when it came to the twos league. The one biggest thing I've always done with three is I solo queue a lot. So I have a tendency of like hard sitting third man, like never pushing up or hesitating. So twos definitely gave me a sense of, hey, you got to pressure, you got to push. Even if I'm last man back, there's some situations you shouldn't be sitting back. So twos definitely gave me the more aggressive side of three. So if Cynics can hold his own back in third, I can help Nox on offense. Or if I'm falling back, I know Cynics and Nox can go on offense. So it's all about the pressure and the rotations. A little bit different than twos, but twos definitely got the aggression back out of me that I used to have.
Yeah, of course, and of course, we'll end things off with just one more question here to you.
Yes.
A
Yes, sir.
big win, Knox. Going into the playoffs, you guys have been to the playoffs before, but again, in the past, you guys were kind of a middle tier team. You never really made it far past that first or second round. But now, being a team that has a much stronger season, that has a strong offense in the playoffs, and with offense being such a big deal, under this kind of pressure, what is kind of your kind of the goal for this team going into the playoffs? What are you guys kind of looking to do here? Because you guys have made it here before, but this feels like a season where you guys have a chance to make a really big run.
Oh, we're gonna bring back the championship to the org for sure. That's the plan, at least.
Knox making it very clear and simple here. They're going to win, and they're going to win the whole thing. But I love that confidence from you guys again. Congrats on your win here, a 3-0 sweep over Team Jumba. Before you go, we'll obviously do some quick shoutouts. So let's start with Devonic. We'll go to Noxipoo afterwards. But Devonic, any shoutouts, any last messages, anything you want to say?
Cynics, thank you for stepping up. I appreciate it. I played like absolute crap tonight, and I appreciate you carrying the fort, top of leaderboard every game, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, buddy. Of course, thanks to Mouse and James, Hunter for all just coming out supporting us. Flash, thank you for being here too, baby. Love you. On that, I'm all good.
Of course, and then we'll move on to Noxiboo here. Is there anything that you'd like to say? Again, it's been a long regular season. It's been 6 weeks. You guys get to go to 4 weeks of playoffs. So is there anything you'd like to say? You guys kind of set your sights to single elimination.
Pretty much it's the same thing that Cynic says. I really want to give a huge shout out to Flash. He was our main guy the whole season until now. He had some shit pop up in his life, so Cynic's stepped up from sub, and I appreciate it, Flash, for getting us where we're at now.
A big win there to you guys here. Thanks for joining Noxipoo and Devonic here of Team Midnite Vipers. Congratulations on your win, a 3-0 sweep. Have an amazing rest of the night, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the...
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you.
For you, Ruby, and I, that's the end of the night for everything here in the stream. Is there any last things you want to say before we'll get a raid out? We'll end the stream here.
I mean, first off, yeah, thank you for inviting me to a pretty exciting and dominant but exciting match. It's been a while since I've been on the stream. I think you said it's almost been a year. So getting back into casting, I really do appreciate the invite here tonight, and I want to thank everyone that's been kind of on this journey with me, and especially the guys over at Rocket League Splash Series. So that's all I got. So I'm good to go whenever you are. It's been a long night. I'm ready to hit the hay.
He's tired. I think a lot of us are all very tired. We'll get you guys a little bit here. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. It's been an amazing night here as me, SportyFC, joined by Ruby, Panda, and of course Mia, all of us as casters. Thank you so much to all of you who've been watching this whole night, and take care, be well. We'll see you on the stream again soon.